Oh, you know something that with me? Do you know, Mark? Because you looked at, I've never, anytime I've like streamed on Twitch, I've just streamed via OBS. I've never done it via Zoom.
Mm.
Do you know, is it, not that I really want to, but I just, QA brain, is it possible to, like, could I also stream this Zoom on my channel? Or can only like one person stream the Zoom?
I think whoever's hosting it has to Zoom. Because if you
That
have
makes
a
sense. ...
more in the bottom right, and it lets you do it, then you might be able to do it. But
my project for this weekend will be figuring out how to get Oculus to stream off of my headset.
nice.
Oculi.
Shouldn't be that bad. I just want to show people the golf course.
Yeah.
Oh nice.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd like to see it.
They're so pretty.
Yeah,
I just haven't played in a while.
I think we have an opening tomorrow if you're available. You want to grab the other Oculus?
Do you not usually have openings?
I mean, I don't know.
It depends on what we're playing. We usually do right now.
Some games you can't have another person.
Yeah. Like
I guess in my mind, I had been refusing.
Oh, golf.
Now that I know I wasn't invited, it's different.
I didn't know you had two Oculus.
Yeah.
I just, I'm always doing. Usually,
I feel bad.
No, I'm usually dancing then. Yeah, usually I'm shaking my butt, so I'm happy. Think of me happy.
But it's funny because your joke is true. That does happen to me, where it's like, there's things I don't really want to be a part of, but then if I'm not asked, I'm like, why the fuck didn't you ask me to be a part of that? I don't want to be, but why didn't you ask me?
I probably won't go, but I thought that I was like a standing invitation. I was the one that wasn't showing up.
You pretty much do.
That's funny.
You know, like certain bands or projects I don't really want to work with, but I'm like, why didn't they ask me to work with them?
Oh,
shows.
Improv shows.
I do not want to do that show, but I wish I would have asked me so I could have turned them down.
Somebody,
I would have been so polite about it.
I live in the same neighborhood with Ava McQuaid. So sometimes when I'm taking a walk, I'll pass her. And she stopped the other night and we said hi. And she asked me in particular if she was like, "Oh, are you still working with this theater group?" I was like, "They don't call me anymore." And I didn't like mean it. I was just stating a fact. Like I didn't mean it like a pointed, well, they don't call me anyway. But after I said it, I was like, oh, that kind of sounded probably.
Oh no.
And she was like, "Oh, well, they're lost."
I can't imagine you saying it
like,
that way. Aw.
I was just like, no, I mean, I just mean, as far as I know, we haven't had a falling out or anything, but they just haven't called me in 4 years to do anything. So I don't know if I guess I'm not working with them anymore, but not by any bold choice or dramatic episode.
Speaking of dramatic episodes,
not yet.
Let's make some characters.
Oh,
like that.
I want to be a bee. Can I be a bee?
Yeah, me too. I'm a
not
bee.
to start with.
Both bees. We're all
I don't
bees.
see bee on the occupation list.
You may become a bee before too long.
Maybe it's a background thing.
What's a beekeeper called? It's escaping my mind.
Apiarist.
Oh,
Thank you. Yeah, apiary. That's
or apiarist. Apiarist. Yeah. So pick name, pronouns. You all played Orion, so this is based on this is based on the other game that is based on this one. So if you pick an occupation and background, your skills should populate down there. And your drive is the reason that you are seeking treasure. So yeah, and then you can grab
there's on page 7. Looks like there's a list of occupations.
Yeah, there's occupation and backgrounds there. They're also in the drop-downs.
I am delighted that the name list includes oveja, which is basically Spanish for bee.
Nice.
Miel.
That was the first thing I was looking for. I was actually scrolling through for something that seemed like miel.
Miel.
Can't decide. They're all good.
Do we have to choose from this list?
No, it's just a
so it could be a beekeeper
list. Oh, you have to pick the occupation and background, but the name you can be whatever.
Is there
Okay,
more
but I'm gonna
information
put
about
parentheses
the
beekeeper after whatever my occupation is.
with a side gig in
Yeah, I'm a sorcerer, but also I'm a beekeeper sorcerer.
You're all kind of and you all have ambitions to be beekeepers of a sort in this one, so it kind of
Or be a
kind of
bee.
fits.
sometimes you keep the bees.
Be a
Sometimes
bee,
the
be a
Ambition can be
bee.
easily filled.
Okay.
So many.
Yeah, I'm not
So many
sure.
emojis. Oveja. Oh, are we all doing O names? No one told me.
I didn't even see. I just picked one.
Okay. I guess I'm
there's
just
a
gonna pick an
drop-down.
occupation by feel here.
Yeah.
Because I don't really know what they do for. Oh,
I'm
I can
picking
work as a-
smuggler because I like Han Solo. I needed a reason to pick something, so that.
And you will see they populate down your skills.
Oh,
there.
okay.
Oh, leech looked cool. Smuggler.
I love the background of banished dancer. Like,
Yeah.
Ooh,
I think we actually
you
had one of
cannot
those.
dance here anymore.
I think in the game of this that we played, we actually had one of those.
Or maybe it's just these dancing feet have gotten a rhythm.
Maybe it's like
The
Kevin
dance
Bacon in
has been
Footloose.
banished. Yeah.
He's Kevin Bacon in Footloose if he hadn't changed the mind of the town.
Fuck this
guess he
town.
does. I don't think I've actually ever seen Footloose.
I haven't either. I just understand.
I just know the story. Yeah.
I feel like I've seen it.
Seen it
because Mr.
multiple times in the
Sinus
theater.
did it.
Yeah.
Intercessor. Cook.
Oh, there's way more in here.
I don't even know what this means, but I'm picking unmasked Feyborn
What's an
Ooh.
ox?
because that seems kind of cool. I'll have to
An
go
ox is
look at.
just someone who carries stuff.
Oh, that might be me. Unmasked Feyborn sounds awesome.
Yeah, I was just like,
Demonologist.
I'll have
That's
to go
kinda
read
what
more
I do
about what
now.
that actually is.
A Feyborn is
Ooh, it's a vessel.
It's intentionally left vague in Trophy Dark. In Trophy Gold, it's more explicitly called out like, oh, you're half some sort of Fey creature. So
Okay.
you can choose what that means.
What's a vessel? I'm just gonna ask you what they all are.
Vessel. What are their skills there?
Is it in the book? I'm not seeing them
Yeah,
in the book.
it's on page 8 in the book.
Spider.
Oh, I have a different version of the book.
yeah, I don't
probably
have
do.
all the things.
It should be in there.
I'm not
though.
trying to be annoying in this particular way.
A vessel has skills of attraction, rituals, and surrender. So probably some sort of like a medium or something.
Get demons in me.
Although there is also a medium, so something like that. Someone who allows spirits to come into them.
Oh, the ox. I carry shit.
I'm just picking things that randomly sound interesting to me, and I'll learn more about it.
That's the way to do it.
Decided my drive is to destroy the work of Ahino, the debauched painter.
Yeah, fuck
Damn.
that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
He knows what he did.
My
Fuck,
background.
I hate that guy's paintings.
Okay.
It's my
So I'm an
goal to
ox. I
wipe
carry
it
Is
out.
shit.
Ahino one of the names we can choose now?
Can't one of you be the debauched painter? Stop
yeah.
destroying my paintings, goddammit.
Ahino. Oh, I can't be it. But I can be Alina, his sister.
Every time you
I
make
can
a
leave my
painting, I
brother
just
alone.
immediately destroy it.
Damn it. Just made
And
this.
they're very innocuous paintings. They're just like
These are
the little Thomas
miniatures.
Kincaid miniatures. This is a cottage on a bright spring day.
I hate it. Burn it.
I'm gonna sell this papyrus.
I guess
Sorry,
debauched is in the eye of the beholder. Okay.
Ooh, I want to be a devoted widow. There we are.
How far am I going to push this ritual thing? I am Feyborn after all.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
geez.
you can pick
Takes-
up to 3 rituals.
Yeah.
Each ritual you pick will give you another starting ruin. So
Should I actually read what
I-
they
I-
do? Or
I do not recommend taking 3 rituals, but I'm not going to
Why?
stop you.
What if I really want to join the forest?
I want to duck out early tonight. I'm just gonna.
Peace.
Yeah.
I just want to watch.
I feel like my character should have darkness.
I feel like I'm gonna be as normal as possible. I carry shit. I really love
You're just here
my
to do this.
dead wife, my dead husband. I love my dead husband. And what's my thing? What's my drive? What's the most normal thing I could do? Pay my father's debt.
I don't know what it is, but I'm taking glamour. I know the glamour
Nice.
ritual. Oh, I'm appear more charming and attractive. Dare I take a second ritual?
Darkness
maybe I'll-
seems so useless, but it fits on so well with my being a demonologist who has been expelled from the demonology club.
Ooh,
Yeah.
y'all are not great people to travel with.
I don't know how these will actually I did read over the instructions, but even still, I don't know how these exactly will all
All right, my brother's in prison. I'm gonna get him out.
As per usual, I just expect we'll play to find out.
Yeah.
All
And
right,
it's
we
also
don't need any
like knowing we're
skills.
all doomed is kind of
I'm gonna make
reduces
mine
the
the
temptation
sweetest
of
guy
midnight.
ever.
yes, devoted widow.
I'm doing it.
Oh,
I'm
no.
doing it. I'm
Widow.
taking a second ritual. I'm fucking doing it.
Nice. Yeah, and in this one, in gold, it's a little bit more, but in dark, rituals are pretty much just fictional positioning stuff. So
Ooh, I'm gonna take
you basically
night
say how
walk
they work.
because
Yeah.
that sounds like me. I like
Ooh.
taking
I
walks
just
at night.
see Heath's like rituals populating. Mark is like, maybe don't take 3. It is like, boop, 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 boop.
I didn't. I just took 2.
So my
Me
ruin
too.
starts out at 2.
You guys can totally team up. Obeha can cast darkness, and Oslo can walk through
And I
it.
can walk
through
into it. All right.
The ritual is like our magic.
Yeah.
Wither. No. Yoke. Yes. I feel like I'm strong.
Oh yeah.
My
Roll,
ruin
get that
didn't
gold roll.
automatically go up when I picked my
I know.
rituals. Pfft, what is
The
this
land.
sheet?
Oh, I need
Typing
to find
things
a picture.
manually.
I think there's like a turbocharged version of this keeper that like not only like does more stuff like that, but actually walks you through each step of it. So it's like
Oh wow.
click here, do this. Great. Now click down there. And then it's super slick. Yeah, super slick.
All right. My dead husband's name.
You can put
Character
image
options. I
URL
should
at the
probably
bottom
look at
there
this
Oh,
background.
on line 32. So if you wish.
Unmasked Fable. Okay. So this doesn't really tell me anything more than my character sheet, so it doesn't matter. Got it. Reference. Do I need to look at that right now? I don't think so. Actually, I really enjoy games that you can just sort of like learn as you go, as opposed to being
Mhm.
like, you need to know what everything does before you start,
Oh,
so you can
I
pick
have
the right
treated
things.
each one of
Or
these
else you're
games that way.
screwed.
I'm like, Mark, help me. That's how I played D&D on that show. I was just like, what do I do? How can I do more crimes?
Cry.
So are we good with the bits and pieces? And Orlin starts with a 2. Great.
Tapping
What
around
would I
for
look like? Let's see.
an image.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Does
Ah.
unmasked
Strong.
Feyborn mean I'm kind of like a fairy guy? What is that?
Yeah, you're like half Fey.
Yeah, probably like
Whatever that means to you.
a beefy dude, like a bull guy.
What is the unmasked portion? Like that most favor like
Everybody now
disguised or
knows.
something, but I'm not.
Maybe. Let's see if I can get the
Or that you had some sort of Scooby-Doo-esque adventure, and they finally discovered that it was you pretending to be the ghosts.
They pulled a
Haunting the town
literal
hall.
latex mask off me. He's not the
Uh,
mill owner. He's a
here's
Feyborn.
the official description of Feyborn. Feyborn, changelings, elvish creatures planted as infiltrators and spies,
Ooh.
hidden behind magical masks which disguise their otherworldly appearance. And yet, so much time among the enemy can soften one's resolve. Many Feyborn take up human causes and concerns, and the crown the fairy crown, I guess, treats said individuals as they would any other subject. Of course, given the Feyborn talent for illusions, it's not always clear who the subjects really are or what they might be hiding. So you're a cuckoo. You got placed in a human family, and your disguise slipped at some point.
I think we can trust this guy with no
Yeah, I don't think anything will go wrong.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool.
This will be the best adventure ever.
There we go.
What's up, Asto? Cool. You want to describe your characters for the record? Introduce them. Let's start with Asto.
Yes, I am Osto. I am an unmasked Feyborn smuggler who is, if you can see my picture, very, very pale, very white. White hair, white eyes, pale skin, delicate wings. My drive on this mission is to destroy the work of Agino, the debauched painter. Because that fucker, man.
Whoa.
Yeah, and your drives are kind of like your overall like reason for being a treasure hunter. It may or may not have anything to do with this particular mission, but like it is your long-term goal.
Well, I think probably lots of his paintings are probably, since he was debauched, they're also probably often imbued with mystical properties, which is
that's what I was thinking.
Why they're the quests of missions like this a lot. And
man,
he tended to draw a lot of fae very sexually and inaccurate. And I'm just like, this
is bullshit.
It's just like a Tom of Finland.
Like, hey,
cultural appropriation.
How about drawing a fae in a study, reading a book or something? Why is it got to be a fae with big boobs, naked in the woods?
Like we don't have jobs.
Come on, man.
We're not always taking naps.
We are complex layered beings.
You want to hit your skills and rituals as well?
Mm. Yes, my skills are dexterity, spontaneity, stealth, and illusions. And I have 2 rituals. Glamour, I can appear more charming and attractive. And night walk, which I can move untraceably through darkness.
Nice.
That actually came together surprisingly cohesively for being all randomly chosen.
Like that. What about Orlin?
All right, Orlin is a super normal dude.
Your insistence on this is making it suspicious.
Really normal, nothing weird. I'm still working on a photo, but he's going to be kind of a chunky dude.
Please pick Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, kind of like
totally
pretty much
picture.
Guillermo. Yeah, he's like Guillermo. Yes, exactly. I carry things, and my background is that my husband died, and I'm he's my soulmate. So there'll be it, and there'll never be another like Arl. And my brother's in prison in Barstool, and so I'm just working my way, just doing jobs here and there, trying to get him out. And one day I will. And I do have this one power, it runs in my family, to apply the strength of a spectral bull to a situation. But just a normal dude, just trying to get my brother out of prison. Nothing weird.
Nothing weird. Okay.
And your skills are?
What are my skills? Then I carry things. Destruction, persistence, strength, and patience. Patience is my best skill.
All of this mostly does sound like Guillermo.
Yeah, I think he is Guillermo pretty much.
What do we got for Oveja?
Oveja is a demonologist and expelled apprentice. So I figure he was in the traditional demonology circles and then just got booted out for impropriety of some sort. And he deeply wants to publish his discoveries from ancient Kaldur. So I'm guessing that those were explorations that he wasn't supposed to be doing. No one should know the discoveries from Kaldur. They're
Caldor is like
buried
the
there for a reason.
in the official setting. It's kind of like the big forest that a lot of the incursions are set in. But
Oh, okay.
we can, but that it contains a lot of stuff, so it's very flexible.
Let's see. I have picked a photo that's kind of a John Rhys Davies sort of beardy dude doing magic. He has one ritual. It is darkness. He can create a living shadow that snuffs out all nearby light, which hopefully will interface well with the Nightwalk skill or ritual. And his skills are demons, match, negotiation, trickery, and lore.
Nice.
And I'm sure he'll be completely fine after all.
Yeah, we're
Super
also
fine.
trustworthy.
Yeah.
And Orlin is so normal, just so normal.
Just so, yeah.
I literally am. I'm not actually hiding anything.
So the incursion is a warm and pleasant hum. The theme is bees. All of these have warnings on them.
Oh, okay.
For both players and viewers, all you viewers out there. Warnings are biting and stinging, cannibalism, confined spaces, eye trauma, graphic violence, harm to animals and insects. And I can tell you the harm to animals is not pets, but they may be work animals.
They might be what you say?
Like farm animals or animals with jobs.
Could we make that
Boundary or
a veil? Like I'm okay with it happening, but maybe we don't. We just cut away from it, or how do we feel about that?
Are you okay with describing their things that have happened to them, but not actually seeing things happen to them?
I think that works for me. Let me think for a second.
Yeah, that works for me. I mean, it's not that different, but I think I'd rather just not linger there.
Yeah. That's.
I may have trouble with I realize I had trouble with tooth stuff too, but I think eye stuff might be fine.
Okay. This is explicitly in the beginning. It is a horse. Just to set context.
Oh, fuck horses.
Oh, sorry.
Good enough. So if anything goes over the line, just we'll cut that and we'll walk it back.
Okay, I'm fine with it. I just didn't want any gratuitous stuff.
Yeah. I mean, this is all.
This isn't the queen. This isn't the queen of gore anymore.
Yep. And there's gonna be a lot of bees and insects.
As long as there's a happy ending, we'll be okay.
Yeah. I mean, we have to go through the darkness before the dawn.
Yeah, we're gonna start off with that, then we'll definitely end on a high note.
Just may not be a happy ending for you. Great. So here's the introduction. The human world has room for many monarchs, but the humming woods has only one queen. The six-legged mother of millions dines exclusively on an elixir said to cure any ill or even extend one's life, a royal jelly of matchless quality. Few dare attempt to steal any jelly, protected as it is by the swarms that live in her remote hive, the six-form heart. But what if one had grander dreams than that of a waxed sack containing purloined jelly? If one can claim the queen, one can control her enormous six-legged family and the wealth that their industry represents. But the denizens of the six-form heart have a loyalty that is pheromone-fueled and absolute, and the venomous means to protect their home and monarch.
This is really sexy.
So we need to have like suits and a little smoker.
I discovered
saving the bees.
Bee fact from the bee lady. In fact, I learned why the smoker works.
Yeah.
Everything that I've always heard is that it makes the bees sleepy, which sounds good to a kid. I guess I never questioned it.
No.
What it actually does is it masks the attack pheromones. So when you normally bust into a hive, some of the bees are like, "Hey, we're being attacked," and those pheromones go boom, boom, and everyone goes nuts. Smoke them out, and they're like, "We're being attacked," and everyone's like, "I don't know, it smells like barbecue."
I don't believe you.
We're being attacked by barbecue.
And they're just like, "Cool, okay, I guess everything's fine."
That was much that was much more peaceful than where I thought the story was going. Like telling it makes them sleepy is a thing you tell kids. Like, oh God, it just murders all of them.
Yeah, it's
Lethal
easier
smoke.
than explaining pheromones to kids.
Why do they need pheromones?
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'll just learn about it on the schoolyard.
Okay, so you all are on your way to the Humming Woods to either get some royal jelly or the queen herself from this beehive, the sixth form heart, to fulfill or to help you out in service of your drives. So let's start with like the night before you get to the woods proper. You've been on a journey for a little while, so you've spent some time in Sheila's company, and this is just the night before, sort of setting up camp and feeling yourselves to go into the forest. Who is going to be looking out first? Who's going to be like in charge of setting up camp? And what is the other person doing?
Ooh. I feel I kind of want to put Obeha on lookout duty, because I suspect he strikes me as kind of useless for setting up camp, but keen on peering out into the darkness, which I don't think he's actually a good lookout, but I think he'll sign up for the job.
Cool.
Yeah, I feel like Orland's game to put together the camp.
Oh no.
What's
I
Osto
like
up to?
building things.
Just all the actual useful work involved.
I feel like Osto doesn't really consult the others about what he's doing. He just,
Oh no.
I figure since he's good at walking among the darkness, that he figures he's good to scout
Wandering.
around, because if there is anything out there, he can kind of be hidden from it, as opposed to like
Nice.
a normal scout who might alert anybody.
As well as
he's
from
got-
us.
Yeah, yeah. So he's just he's not around.
I'm sure he's gathering firewood. Orland thinks he's gathering firewood or doing something useful.
Cool. So as as Osto's kind of walking, you're in it's kind of a marshy area outside the forest, and there's tall thatches of trees here and there, but it's pretty sparse. And as this, the sun has gone down, and Osto is sort of walking through the darkness, and walking out of one sort of thatch of brushy trees. The sun has set, but the sky is still glowing a little like orangey red. And stepping out of this into this, it's basically a regular meadow or field. There is a ship that has been wrecked. It looks like it's sort of like as if there was an ocean here that just vanished. It's like a
Pearl situation.
It's like a schooner sized. So it's not a huge ship, but it is just like beached in this field, and there's grass growing up around it. There's golden flowers on these vines growing around it, and it's just wrecked. You can see it has a masthead and the name written in sort of faded gilt ink or paint on the side. It's called the Seventh Sister. It's just kind of hanging out the field. How do they react to that?
Well, considering that one of my skills is spontaneity, along with stealth and illusions dexterity, I think Osto would be like, "Oh, I gotta check that out." Come on, you find a ship. How could you not check it out? What else are you gonna do?
So it's the sides are kind of bashed in, and it's it's been there for some time. It's overgrown. There's moss growing all over it, and vines. And inside, what would be the hold, from the outside, you can actually see there's a dozen or so wooden barrels that have iron rings around them. Like regular ringed barrels. Nothing super special, but it looks like they are untouched by the weather.
Shake it up. Does it slosh around? Is anything in there?
What's in this one? This one has this actually has some grain in it. Looks just like oats, and one has oats, one has like millet or something in it. As you shake a few of the other barrels, there's one that has one is a cask of wine. One actually has some dried meats in it, so it looks like it's just like supplies that were in the ship.
Yummy.
But they are pretty much untouched.
Are we playing Oregon Trail secretly?
Maybe.
Does one of them contain
a
a
million
painting
bullets
of Ashino?
No, that one does not.
Because I'm gonna fuck that barrel up if so. I think I would return to the camp and suggest moving camp to the ship.
Ooh.
I'd tell them, I was like, hey, you got. I found
Orlin
a
has
ship.
it like already half together and looks at it and is like,
over here.
yeah,
Look,
okay.
there's this hull of a ship, and it's full of like wine and meat and grain and like all kinds of good stuff. That
I just see Orlin affixing a giant or like a nice flower at the top of one of the
like a little flag that's got our like
last step.
Oh, yeah, that'll be no problem at all.
I mean, it'd be way easier to just move the camp there than like try to get all the barrels over here.
And I think Obeha like nods sagely. It's like more defensible there too.
Yeah.
Whether that's actually true or
not. Orlin, has Osto been like this like the whole journey? Just kind
One
of
my powers is patience.
Yeah. I think how has Osto tested your patience?
Osto is always like this. Yeah, I think Orlin is used to having to do like hired work because he's been trying to earn money and is used to like everybody working as a team. Maybe they're being a leader. But like from day one, Osto has just pretty much always done what Osto wanted to do. And Abeha has always done what he wanted to do as well, but more creepily.
Yeah.
Usually staring more into the distance. And so just like both of them get on my nerves in that like they don't ever offer to help. Osto especially doesn't ever offer to help and expects things to be done for him. And
I am Feyborn.
He's kind of used to people serving him and letting him do whatever he wants to do. So
I think Obeha has helped once or twice, and it's one of those deals where the person helping you is actively making everything take longer.
Yeah, whereas Abeha at least has tried, and now I try to keep him from helping me.
Orlin has to actively stop Obeha.
Yeah, where I'm like, Obeha, what about looking out? Like looking out was the thing I made up, I think.
Yeah.
Obeha, also that way.
Also actually reminds you of someone from like maybe someone when you were apprenticing.
Oh, right, of course, the chief of the Demonology Guild.
Yeah.
I don't know what a city name is in this world, but
how does Osto remind you of them?
I think in the like in a sense of I'm doing something important and everyone needs to serve me, like that vibe. Which in the I think the demonology community doesn't really do a lot of demonology anymore. It's just become this sort of aristocratic thing. And it's like, oh, you might eventually learn a few things about demons if you clean up the chief demonologist's house.
That sounds like grad school.
I think the big city that folks usually come from in this area is Fort Durin. Duhrin. So that's probably where it is.
Not to be confused with Fort Durian, which smells really bad.
That's terrible smell. Osto, one of the others actually does something that you find absolutely delightful. Which one of them is it, and what is it?
I think it's I think it's Orlin because like I think Osto doesn't understand how his spontaneity would be annoying to Orlin, and he finds Orlin's planning and just to be so quaint. I was like, it's so Orlin always has like a checklist and has everything planned out, and it's like we should. Oh, this is the best, and it just makes Osto laugh because he's not like that at all. He's just Mr. Spontaneity. So this whole like planning things and having everything so thought out is just like, what a crazy brain you have. I don't even know how a brain works like that.
Look, you've written down all the things we've eaten today and how many supplies we've used.
Oh, no.
Orlin, when you move to the ship camp, you do find these barrels full of just like completely untouched supplies that have been there for quite some time. How do you use them or incorporate them into the camp if you do?
Yeah, I'm busy turning them into little packets, very nicely folded, so that each person can have a share. And they're like sweet, like folds, like little like sweet notes put in them, so that when Obeha and Asta open them, if they're far away from me, they're like, know that someone's thinking of them.
And I think
cartoons drawn on them. So
I think as Orlin is doing that, Asta, of course, just like comes by and dips his goblet in the barrel of wine.
So now I have to like remeasure some of the wine skins. That's okay. Yeah, let me know if you like that one more than the others. Infinite patience.
I think Obeha at this point has found his monitoring station on the ship and is saying things like no immediate threats, but the forest seems hungry.
Is Obeha in the crow's nest?
Where is your monitoring?
Yeah, he's up in the crow's nest, which has somehow survived a whole lot of damage.
It's just like at an angle.
Yeah.
Cool. So the
Orlin has gone and made some ties so that it's a little bit more sturdy for Obeha to sit up there, so that just in case the wind blows.
I imagine the crow's nest is probably like a 45-degree angle, so Obeha has to like sit on the bottom with his feet like on the wall of the crow's nest.
So y'all have dinner, fall asleep in the various nooks and crannies of the ship. Obeha, it's a few hours into the night and it's pretty quiet, but you get a whiff of sort of like storm, like you can tell it's going to rain, and just kind of like as it hits you, like, oh, a storm is approaching, the sky just opens up and it just, like heavy torrents of rain for a good half hour. And by the time it is done, it ends just as quickly. The ground surrounding the ship is even more marshy and wet. It's like just like deep sticky mud that will probably not dry by morning.
Okay.
But morning does come. What do you all do when
morning never comes?
You all die peacefully in your sleep.
That's how I want to go.
Overcome by mud and
dreaming of Arl.
Obeha,
of what we have seen so far.
how do you tell the other folks about what happened last night?
I think he's going to overly talk up what he saw. Like he's going to say that there was a storm last night, but no ordinary storm. This is clearly demon-spawned precipitation that's emptied from the sky as if it were rent in twain, and all of the water beyond the sphere of the sky came crashing down.
Wow, Obeha, you're so brave.
Indeed, I don't use the word hero often, but
do you think the storm was the product of a demon?
I wasn't going to be the first to say it, but yes. The demons are after us and are trying to impede our progress towards the hive with these foul tricks.
Oh no.
But they only have increased my resolve.
Nice. So everything is a bit mucky and muddy. You are able to take whatever supplies you like from that. Orlin has packed up everything so nicely. So you are laden with
It's like
grains
perfectly
and dried
Tetris
meats.
for you.
Yeah. And you're a bit muddy and wet from the storm, but otherwise fine. And you're pretty close to the humming woods now. How can you know the general direction that it is? What sort of physical signs are there in the land that get more that indicate that you're approaching the humming woods?
Oh, let's see. I think we start seeing abandoned hives. Like there are dead trees that are filled out with like emptied honeycombs.
I feel like you can tell like sort of the latest path that the bees have taken, because they tend to aggressively draw pollen and nectar from plants a little too much and kills a lot of them. And so you can kind of follow the dead
path of
trail.
It's like bleach coral, but
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It suck the color out of them.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I like that.
I can't think of anything that's not really dumb. They leave their little antennas.
Yeah, so that's like there's
there's
there's lots of
dead body parts around.
Yeah,
that makes sense, because they probably like compete for flowers, and so some of them kill each other, and so there's
Oof.
Cool. So
Bees
you
seem a little unfriendly.
Ooh. So you follow the gradient of the signs, and eventually about midday you come to a place where you can actually see the tree line that is the humming woods, and it's a pretty distinct demarcation of like, here are the fields and meadows and swampy areas surrounding it, and then like this is where the woods begin. And there's like there's kind of like a drop off, like a sharp hill on the other side, and it's like you can tell like this is the humming where there's you can see sort of like clouds, swarms of bees above, and you know almost hear that really low humming as you approach. And you're in you're about 100 yards away from the edge of the woods, when something bursts out of the trees, and it is a pack horse that is panicked. And it just bursts out of the trees and starts just like running, and you can see as it comes out, there's something wrong with it. Its eyes are kind of yellow and running, and it's got things sticking out of it. And it is
stingers.
It is just frothing and just mad with pain. And right after it, a trio of human figures come out, and they have sort of canvas dresses, and with the wicker faces and hats and gloves, and they are just like madly chasing after the horse. They don't notice you at all. How do you react to this?
I think Obeja is going to be useless and just kind of get out of the way of everything. Is his instinct.
Yeah, Orlin tries to rein the horse.
Okay.
Try to help out.
Yeah. How do you try to do that?
I got a little bit. Yeah, a little. Pss, pss, pss. I got some of the grain from the barrels.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying to lure it over. Oh, it's running though, right? I think I'm just
it is mad with pain.
Oh, I think I'm just trying to like run after it and loop its rein. Just trying to like by strength.
Yeah.
All right.
This is to myself.
This is a risky task because it is quite it is rough. So the main roll we do in here is a risk roll. So the way that works is you'll take 1 light die if your background or occupation is giving you skills that can assist you. If you don't have any appropriate skills, strength. Okay, let's go with strength. So that's 1 light die. You can take another light die if you accept a devil's bargain, and that means I or one of the other players can say something that happens whether you succeed or not. And if you accept that consequence, you will get another die. I think, and let's see, an obvious one would be that the horse, like the horse trampled you in some way in the process, and you'll take a condition that reflects that. If
I think I'm
or
not
they
too worried
have
about
other ideas.
succeeding. I just like want to help if I can, so I'm not going to take a bargain.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, you can also add a dark die to the roll if you're risking your mind or body to succeed, or if you have a ritual that you want to use for it. Ritual always requires that you use a dark die. So you're kind of like just trying to help, or are you like
I think
putting
I'm just
yourself
trying to help.
at
Like, I don't
risk
think
to
I'm
that?
going to use like Uncle Bull yet. Can you remind me about light die and dark die?
Yeah, so the way that's going to work is that we will roll all the dice. If the highest die is 1 to 3, it's a failure and things get worse. If it's a 4 or 5, you succeed with a complication. And if the highest die is a 6, then you will succeed at the task.
This system is rigged.
It is, absolutely. If you don't like the result of your roll, you can, and a light die is the highest, you can add a dark die to your roll and roll everything again. And you can keep doing that until a dark die is the highest. If the highest die is dark die or tied, then and the dark die is higher than your current ruin, your ruin increases by 1, whether you succeed or fail.
Okay, I might need help as we go along. And they're D6.
Yeah. So you're not putting yourself at risk for this. You're just trying to like,
Yeah, I'm
help
just rolling
a little bit,
1.
right?
I'm just trying to help.
Okay, cool.
I don't want to get. I don't need to get complicated. I rolled a 2.
Ooh, that is a 2. Okay. So you do fail. And I think partially because the horse is too far away as you run up
like
to
trying to
and
grab it. And it
fortunately there's no lighter dark. I think to do lighter dark, we'll just say the ones furthest to the right will be the dark dice, since we don't have actual light or dark dice here. So yeah, so the you're unable to reach the horse, and it's just sort of wildly swerving around, and it actually runs straight for stupid flux. Let's turn flux off forever.
I know I turn it off every day.
It runs straight towards that inline, that it's not a chasm necessarily, but it's a steep hill on one side, and just goes over the edge. And you don't see, but you can hear bad things on the way down. And what's
there's
worse,
explosion.
the horse. Yeah, boom, horse explosion. But the horse was a pack horse, and it was carrying all of the supplies that the other 3 apiarists had, and they sort of like are dashing towards the horse, and when it goes over the edge, they just kind of trot to a standstill, just stunned that they have lost pretty much everything. And then they turn their round wickered faces towards you as Orlin has drawn their attention to this new group, and they start walking towards you.
I'm sure they're gonna be our friends.
Sure.
Yeah.
Look, new friends.
Maybe
I bet they know all about the bees. They've got bee hats on.
Maybe we can trade them some of our supplies for their apiary protective equipment, which you would think we would have thought to brought while going to see bees, but I'm spontaneous. I mean, I wouldn't.
It's specialized equipment.
I
would have
like
expected Orlin to have packed.
You know what? Also, that's why we're such a good team. You come up with the ideas on the spot. I'm just a planner.
I think Obeha immediately leaps on the chance to do negotiation as one of his skills. So I've got this.
Nice. I'm gonna I'm going to copy the image address of this and paste it here. So
Oh,
you can
no.
see the
That's fine.
this is the actual what medieval beekeepers look like.
Ooh.
So they kind of
yeah.
look like that.
Yeah.
We traveled back in time. Oh my gosh, that's
and
scary.
yeah, and they are they look to be of a similar nature of yourselves. They clearly came to the woods to do something, and their chance has been dashed, and they kind of like form up in a triangle, not arm's reach, like close but not within grabbing distance, and the one in front takes his wicker face off, and you can see like he's got like short cropped hair. He's got a couple scars across his face. Just looks like a rough guy, and a little bit like haggard and hungry, as if this was not a pleasant journey for them. They didn't make it very far, and he just kind of like surveys the three of you, and you see his eyes alight on the very nicely packed
supply caches.
yeah. Says, "Are you coming for the bees?
And
Are you coming for the queen?"
I think Obeha, is going to step out into the in front and kind of arms wide. As it so happens, we are. And so I think we can make a deal that works well for both of us, in that we have more supplies than we need, but we don't have lovely apiary outfits.
Or knowledge. Don't forget to ask him about knowledge and maps and stuff. You're the talker, Obeha. I'm just good. I got it on the list.
And the guy in front takes a step forward and kind of like looks Obeha up and down. What does Obeha look like physically again?
Again, the picture is so I imagine I like the photo that's there. It's this beardy, dark-haired guy, stocky with dark robes, and long hair.
Cool. Yeah, and he kind of like maybe steps a little bit too close, definitely within arm's reach, and like he's clearly eyeing the bags. He says, "You're not going to find anything but your own deaths in there. You may as well turn back, but I think we'll be taking your supplies."
Oh,
it's easy to make it.
So
it's easy to make it home hungry. No.
Mhm.
You can hand them over. Or you can go over the hill with our horse. It's your call. And the two behind him draw like little curved knives out of their sleeves. And he steps forward and gives Obeha a push on the chest. It's like, "What are you going to do about it, big man?" And makes a grab for one of the sacks of supplies slung over.
Okay.
You can still try to negotiate if you want.
Can I charge at one of them like a bull?
You totally can.
I think I'm going to start to try to negotiate, and then that will interrupt, if that's okay.
All right.
I just want to bowling ball them. I'd like to bowling ball all of them if they're lined up, but maybe that could be decided by the die roll.
Okay, yeah, this is definitely another risky situation.
I also have already rolled, so I'm happy to let someone else try something.
I mean, I do have my glamour ritual.
Oh, do you want to try glamour before we
where
try
I
bowling?
can appear more charming and attractive.
I also
Ooh.
I can cast darkness over everything. But I am intrigued by I feel like in character for Obeha he's going to try to keep negotiating. He thinks he's still got this.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
what is our tactic?
Orlin saw the swords and is like, okay, we're done.
Yeah. Gotta keep these people from getting pincushioned.
Yeah.
So which one is going to happen? Yeah.
Well, I feel like at that point when things are starting to go south is when Osto would step up and start glamoring, like, hey, come on now. Hey, we are. There's no reason for this. look, we got things we need, you got things you need, and we got the things you need, you got the things we need. This could all be resolved very easily and peacefully.
Is Orlin still charging?
Orlin is ready to charge, and is
Okay, cool.
Orlin was about to charge, and also walked in front and messed up the line of
That sounds like Osto,
the bowling alley. And so Orlin's like, all right, I'm gonna hold back and see. Osto's probably got a great plan. Osto's really smart.
Cool. So let's do it this way. Let's have Obeha negotiate, and Osto will help. We'll make that work that way.
Okay.
So Obeha, you get you definitely have a die for negotiation. Would you like to consider a devil's bargain?
Let's see. Yeah, I'll try one. Or I'm open to hearing one.
I think a fun one would be whether you succeed or fail. There's something horribly wrong with one of the apiarists.
Oh, that sounds great.
Affect you in some way. If the other two have a suggestion, go for it.
So the devil's bargain is
if something fails. Yeah, this is something that will happen regardless of whether they succeed or fail.
Oh, to get this dice, this will happen. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got like a ping on one, but I can't quite crystallize it. My thought is that like maybe y'all can help me crystallize it, because my thought is that Obeha decides to like try the bad cop tactic now. And so like if it were to work, then like maybe he would intimidate them into, but I'm trying to figure out what's the thing that happens no matter what.
He'd have to follow through on something he can't do. Or...
Yeah. Like something like he threatened, like he's got to punch one of them or something like that to really accentuate the bad guy.
Or like a magic spell that he doesn't have.
I'm just not sure what the effect is that will happen no matter what, success or failure.
Mine is that they recognize Obeha.
Ooh,
oh my God.
I love that.
Oh, I like
from
that
school.
a lot.
Yeah, do you want to pick one of those?
I really want them to recognize Obeha. That sounds
awesome. Cool. So they will do that regardless. The thing I forgot to do with the first roll, we also will say you'll ask what could go wrong, and we will say what could go wrong. I think the thing that could go wrong is the first thing that obviously could go wrong is that they lay into you, do some harm to you, and take your stuff. Osto and Orla, do you have any other things that could go wrong and this is if he fails?
No, I think that's good just to piggyback on that, because I kind of feel like since the recognition now is what is going to happen regardless, then it's a question of do they recognize him favorably or unfavorably? And then they're like that motherfucker, or they're like, oh, wait a minute, that's Obeha. Remember him? He was pretty cool.
Yeah, they're like go and ruin his reputation. We stole from Obeha.
Yeah, I feel like Obeha is disgraced to a point that they can report back to the town, to the Demons Guild on where he is and what he's up to.
Someone, I love it. Okay, cool. Yeah. Cool. So you got one die for your skill, one die for your devil's bargain. If we're going to involve the ritual, I think we're going to have to add a dark die.
Okay, so it's 3 dice, 2 dark.
And then Osto, if you're helping, we will add another die. But so Obeha will roll 2 light, 1 dark. Osto will roll 1, and if Osto's die matches the dark die, then they take ruin.
Okay, so I'll queue up my 3 dice.
Yeah.
And my die, so he's got 2 light, 1 dark. The one I'm rolling, is it light or dark, or does it matter?
It is a light die.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, let me change my.
And we'll say the ones all the way to the right is the dark one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am rolling 3.
I'll let you go first. And mine,
3, 3, 1.
And mine.
3s across the board. Okay.
Wow.
Well, 1 is the dark die, so you are safe. But you
am I though?
Fail. You're safe from ruin at least. Maybe.
Ruined.
Yeah. Oh man, this is rough. So Osto, I think when Osto does the glamour on you, it
Very
like
magic.
you kind of like you've been kind of like you've been traveling for a little while, and you're kind of like road rough and dirty and stuff. And when Osto does the glamour, like you become your best self. And the guy on the person on the right hand side of the main guy screws off her wicker mask and says,
no.
Obeha, you son of a bitch. And just throws her knife at you, and it sticks in your shoulder.
Unfortunate.
And yeah, so you will take a condition, stuck like a pig. And that's not going to be good. And when the others see that she does that, the others do just like pile on. Like it's one of them jumps on Aso, one of them jumps on Abeha, the other one's like trying to grab her knife back and stab you again. Just a big tussle, and Orlin is ready to charge.
All right, I feel like it's my turn.
Your time to shine. What are you aiming to do?
I'm just trying to bowl him over.
I will be delighted if the end result of the session is we die before getting into the
Yeah,
forest.
this is how we die.
That would be chef's kiss.
What's Orlin's like preferred outcome? Like, do you kill him? Do you run him off? Do you just?
I just want to incapacitate him. I don't really like killing people.
Okay, cool.
Not the killing type. Just want to just knock them out so we can move along.
Let's talk about what could go wrong. I think clearly the things that could go wrong would be
roll off the cliff.
Yeah, you roll off the cliff. That's a great one. I'm still gonna go with the there's one for each of you, and I think the bad situation is that they do manage to take your supplies and then leave you in the dirt. Fuck off. Osto, what else could go wrong? Or Obeha.
Orlin knocks into Osto or Obeha and injures.
Yeah, my aim's not great once I'm going.
Is it possible for like Osto to be doing something else while Orlin's doing this?
You are scrapping right now. Yeah, you're kind of struggling with one of them. The main one up front jumped on Obeha. The one on the left jumped on Osto, and the other one is trying to get her knife out so she can stab Obeha some more.
Yeah, it makes sense that I might accidentally hit them.
Cool. Well, Orlin definitely has a skill to do that. Either strength or destruction, whichever one you prefer. Would you like to take a devil's bargain to get another die?
Yes. Let's all die here.
See.
TPK in record time.
I have a hit.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't know if this is good or not. The action, successful or not, attracts the attention of the swarm. So
yeah. That one sounds good. Yeah,
I love that one. Also, do you have something else you'd like to offer?
No.
Okay, yeah. Win or lose, you attract the attention of the swarm. Love it.
Yeah, cool.
Are you risking your mind or body this time?
Kind of yeah. I feel like I would, because I want to. I care more.
Seems like it's hard not to with that move.
Yeah. Are you using that ritual? Applying that?
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So what does it look like when you summon the strength of a spectral bull? Like, is there anything that we see? Do you change at all? Is there does any of the environment change?
Yeah, it's like I bend down and run at people, but you can also see like a form of a like ghost bull around me.
Ghost bull.
Nice. Awesome. Cool. So you'll be rolling 2 light and 1 dark. The dark will be the one on the right.
Sorry, 2 dark, 1 light.
2 light, 1 dark.
2
So
light,
just
1 dark.
Yeah,
All right.
3 dice, and the one on the right will be dark.
A 6,
Well,
a 3, and a 6.
You do succeed. You succeed with a plum, but you do have a dark die. So your ruin will go up 1 for starters. So you'll
I'm sure
get
that's
ruin
fine.
3.
What could go?
But yeah, so you see this thing, and the one does manage to get her knife out of Obeha's chest and goes up for another stab, and just the last thing Obeha sees is just this spectral bull charging and just knocking her like
Over the cliff.
not a tackle, but just like almost like a giant fist just punch her in the nose. She kind of like folds up and flies farther than a person should be.
We need that uniform.
And that gives you the opportunity to kick this guy off of you. And between it is a muddy, gross fight. There are a couple people get nicked with knives.
Oh boy!
But at the end of it, you leave them beaten and partially unconscious, and you
as the bees approach,
standing pretty exhausted over them, and the sky kind of darkens a little bit.
Oh no!
And you look towards the edge of the forest, and the swarm kind of like rears up, and like it's almost like a wave coming over the crest of the forest, and the buzzing sound just gets louder and louder and louder, and they kind of
cut to a bee fact break.
Yeah. They kind of stop at the edge of the forest, and just kind of like you see them swirling around, but they definitely like it's almost like like a dog at the edge of a doorway, kind of like, I know I can't go in, but I know there's something here I can smell.
No.
And so they're just kind of like hovering at the edge of the forest, and eventually kind of filter away a little bit, but they know you're there for sure. They have got your.
Well, that's
they
better
got
than I
your
thought that was going to
scent.
be. I thought they were going to come get us and kill us.
It's fine. It's fine.
What's
So you
gonna
have
come here?
you have these 3 people at your mercy.
Mercy.
What would you like to do?
Can we take a break?
Yeah.
You want to take a break right now, or like 5 minutes and finish off the beginning of the ring here? Is it
Sure,
fine?
we can finish. We can finish it off. I just have to first.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, cool. Or we can take a break now if you need to.
You can describe it. I can wait.
Okay. What would you like to do with them? They have a few supplies left, but not many.
Are we gonna take their uniforms?
Yeah, you can. And they just have like rough clothes underneath. So they're not like running around naked, but they're there.
Beat them like one of Ajina's paintings.
Oh no!
No, we just leave them. They're sleeping now.
No, I mean, we already did. I mean,
They're already pretty beat up. They also there's one of them had inside like their sleeve there was a glass vial, but it shattered in the it shattered in the fight. But there's just a little bit of yellow liquid in the bottom, and you can take that if you like. There's still a little bit left. Another one has
I feel like you're trying to trick us.
a crude map of the forest, and it's got like three circles drawn on it. They're like, this could be where the hive is, and it looks like there's some like notes about like where scouting bees could be going. Like, so you have an idea of like where they have some information about the forest. So you have some ideas there.
Oh man!
And take it off.
Yeah, the last thing they have, one of them has a waxed pouch that was clearly intended to be used to grab some of the jelly. In it is a stinger the size of a hand. It's just like it's got the poison sac. It looks like it was squeezed at the end. possibly post injection, but it's a long barbed stinger that is no longer attached to a bee. It's like the size of a dagger. And a little bit of venom that is left inside is very similar to the liquid that is in the vial.
Vial? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Because otherwise, I think Obeha was seriously thinking of like dipping a finger in and
Yeah, because I
tasting
thought it
the-
was honey and I was gonna eat it.
Yeah, it's more likely some sort of anti-venom than poison. It looks like it was something they prepared.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, we should get it anyway.
Cool.
Take it all.
And they will not be a problem to you any longer. They're lying groaning on the ground, and you can enter the forest if you wish.
That should show you how to not pick on people who are just trying to ask you questions. Orland's like giving them a little lecture as they grow.
Oh God.
You're lucky we don't throw you over the cliff with the horse.
Yes. Clearly, superior warriors as us will have better luck than you did.
And so passes the first ring.
Well, I don't
of
really have
5.
a choice. I got to get my brother out.
Cool. Yeah, let's take a break.
Cool.
Take 5-ish.
Yay.
All right.
Yeah.
See you in a bit.
Snacks.
Bees, 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 bees.
Bees, bees, bees.
Ah, it's a lovely banana and peanut butter break.
Lindsay made little pumpkin spice bundt cakes for she's got a couple of work friends visiting for dinner.
Nice.
Nom, nom, nom.
That sounds tasty. I want some of Mark's pancake muffins.
Oh yeah. Gotta make some more of those. Make some pumpkin spice pancakes.
Yeah, they don't really do pumpkin things so much, as far as I can tell here. So we'll introduce lots of visitors to pumpkin pie when we have them over for American Thanksgiving.
All right. So you're entering the edge of the humming woods, and as you do, there's a tree line that you're entering, and as you enter, there's everything is more in shadow now, even though it is midday, and it's the forest is pleasantly warm. You took the apiarist's robes and masks, is that correct? Are you wearing them or do you have them on hand?
I'll put mine on.
Let's see. I feel like Obeha does put them on just because it feels like ceremonial, kind of familiar in that way.
We have enough for all three of us.
Yeah, there's 3 of them.
One of them has a little bit of that spilled juice on the sleeve where it broke or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Orland didn't originally want to put it on, but the other two put theirs on. So
Peer pressure.
he was like, okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
That makes sense, I guess.
You're it's a little bit uncomfortable wearing those over the rest of your clothes.
I imagine I got the small one too.
Arms
or it's small for me.
Oh no.
So you're a little bit warm and uncomfortable, but otherwise it is not unpleasant in the forest. There's the nice background hum. It's nice and dim.
And now we're totally impervious to bees.
Yeah.
Totally. A little bit soothing.
Be proof.
Obeha, with regards to the your goal, the elixir or the queen, is Obeha more after using the royal jelly for medicinal purposes or curative purposes, or are you looking to gain power from this somehow?
Let's see. The drive is publish your discoveries from ancient Kaldur. So,
science.
Yeah, that was my assumption. That's what I'm coming around to, is that I was told there was some connection to the demon world in this in the heart of the hive. And as soon as I get that information, I will show everybody at the academy where they said I was mad.
Nice.
I think that's how I'm seeing it. I don't know if that's kind of a walk, but
makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That's exactly how academia works.
Like I don't oh god. Yeah, I don't know what the connection is, and hopefully we can discover something there.
Yeah. Osto, how would your life change if you prove that you could pierce the heart of the humming woods and return sticky-fingered in triumph?
In sticky-fingered triumph.
Well, I think I was thinking about how this relates to my goal. I think this will answer your question. Stick with me here. I think that Ajina is known for working in a medium that a type of paint that has this species of bee honey in it as an ingredient. So I'm thinking if we can get to the hive I've brought a little vial of something that if I can get into the hive, it will change the composition of the honey such that it will not be able to be used in paints anymore. And Ajina will be screwed. And he will not be able to create any more of his honeybee paint works. So it will be the ultimate, like, I will stop, I'll have stuff to destroy everything that's been created, but he will not be able to create any more of his ridiculous art.
I'm still convinced, or I'm convinced that the honey infusing the works gives them some special power over the aristocrats who have been struggling to buy them.
Yeah, for sure. What is the thing that you brought?
It's the pollen of a flower that's only found in like a 2-acre stint on the top of a mountain that's very, very difficult to get to. And so if I can get it to the hive, the bees, they're like, oh, pollen, cool. And they'll take it and they'll spread it through the hive and use it like they do. But it will definitely render the honey will still be fine for the bees and everything, but it won't be able to be used for paints anymore.
All right.
It turns it translucent, so it's no longer has hues and can't be used to color things.
Ooh, it turns into the corn syrup.
Yeah.
It won't hold the color anymore.
It won't hold a color anymore.
And Orlin, how will you succeed here where so many others have failed?
Oh, it's because my motives aren't actually for fame or power. It's just that my brother Krill is in Barstool prison, which is a prison no one returns from. But I did talk to one guard who said if I could get him a little bit of the jelly, then we could make a deal. Like this is like the one way I can get Krill out of Barstool prison. He was wrongfully imprisoned, and I tell everyone the story about it. He was a minor, and it was self-defense, and the guy hit his head, and so he got charged for murder. And I've had to take care of his 2 little girls, and there's been 2 girls with us the whole time. Yeah, and so this was I think that I will succeed because I'm not going after it. I'm going with the pure heart.
Nice. Cool.
By the way, I'm starting to think that Oveja thinks that if he gets a bit of the royal jelly, it will give him a vision of the demon world.
There we go. Yeah. I realized I didn't talk about Ruin up top because we played the other game, and I was just assuming. Ruin goes from 1 to 6, and you've clearly all started at 1 plus the number of rituals you have. There will be ruin rolls at points as well, where it's like something bad happens and you're gonna make a ruin roll to see if your ruin goes up, and your ruin can also increase via our risk rolls as well. When your ruin reaches 6, you are taken by the forest and your character's story has ended. But when you get to ruin 5, you can start bringing it down with a reduction roll. And basically, if you do things like destroy treasure or betray or sabotage your fellow treasure hunters or interfere with their rituals, you can make a reduction roll. And basically, you roll 1 light die. If you roll under your current ruin, you reduce your ruin by 1. Actually, you will, if you do those things, you will always reduce your ruin by 1. The die is to determine whether or not they notice what you are.
Oh no!
So that's fun. There's also a contest roll if you're both competing for the same thing, but we'll get to that when we get to it. So as you're going through the forest, and you can see it's starting to break a little bit up. There's a smallish clearing, and you see there's a ring of 6 animal skulls arranged in a circle, and they're alternate large, small, large, small.
This seems like demon stuff.
A bear, a rabbit, skull, an elk skull, a
Could be
squirrel,
art.
a human skull, and a child's skull, and they're just arranged in this circle here, near the edge of where the forest kind of opens up into a lower area, and the trees kind of go away, and it's a floodplain that has been recently soaked by the storms that passed through here. We're now entering ring 2. There's 5. Also, I didn't talk about there's 5 rings to the adventure, and they get worse as you go in. You've successfully passed the first ring.
We should go back to the first ring.
You probably should if you were.
Let's
if
just
you were
Hang out
smart.
there.
Let's just go home.
Let's go in circles. Oh yeah, we had a fun time. We got these cool suits.
Now we can go maybe found a tavern and
That would be the smart thing. But you do enter this floodplain, and the entire plane is it's an explosion of color, because there are these tall flowering plants that you can tell are kind of like grow here because we get this flood coming in and out of here. And as it is now, the water is between ankle and knee deep, and the roots of the plants are a little bit treacherous underneath there. So your progress slows as you enter this. This is the way through. Yeah, go for it.
Did you say the circle of skulls was kind of around the entrance to this place, and we passed by that into? Okay.
Yeah, and if you'd like to do something with that, you can definitely hang out there and mess around with it if you like to.
I feel like my character would want to mess around with it. I don't know to what end though.
Well, I definitely think Asta
Test it for demons.
would trot right over to him and be like, ooh, what's this? Let's check this out.
Start moving them around.
It looks like a little fairy circle almost, only with skulls.
Oh. Is this
My dancing in the middle of it.
Like, I think Oveja's hit is to summon a bound demon from it.
Ooh.
Like, I'm sorry if that's too extreme.
Orlin is gonna lay out some snacks while we're doing this. Make a little spread.
So, I'm looking at Demons Negotiator lore. So I'll give you a couple of options.
Yeah.
2 options. Since you know demons and lore as part of your skills, you can just tell us what this reminds you of, or what hit you get off of this particular kind of thing.
Okay.
What you've learned. If you would like to do something riskier, you can attempt some sort of ritual that will probably involve your darkness to get something out of it.
Okay. I
Do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I was just saying, like, from a player perspective, I am wincing at this because it serves no benefit. But I do think Oveja commits to the bit of his character or of his demonology background. And it's like, this is as much a chance to show off to the team as much as anything.
So what demon is characterized by this circle of big and small skulls?
Yeah, I feel like, I will say that this is a demon that is known by an old language word for scourge, and it's a sort of something powered by its hatred for nature and natural processes, so that it is actually a bound demon that despises bees, among other things, like bees and flowers and the harvest. Like, it's the name that farmers tell each other about, like, oh, it looks like the scourging one has come to give us more trouble with the wheat fields again.
So what do you hope will happen as a result of this ritual?
I think if we can get this or one of its acolytes and bind it to obey us, or to be with our party, it will instinctively attack bees that come after us. Is,
All right.
I think, Obeha's idea.
Intention. Yeah.
Don't know how that will play out, right? It
Cool.
seems like Peter the player is like, this is a terrible idea. This is just
So what do we think could go wrong with this Orlin and Ostero?
That he summons a demon, but it's not bound to anything. It's totally free. It's like messed up that binding part.
yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
that was gonna be mine too, is that you free the demon and not summon it.
Like it was bound in that circle for a reason.
Mhm.
Or a different demon shows up that
Yes.
Obeha, it has a thing that has a vengeance that knows Obeha. It's just gonna be all of my bad things are gonna be like Obeha being recognized. It'll be a demon that recognizes.
It's possible for a demon to recognize.
Hey, Obeha! Told you not to bother me.
I think another possible bad thing might be that the demon was already summoned by this, and something happened to whoever did it, and the demon is now roaming free in the forest somewhere.
Okay, and
cool. So those are possible things that might happen. We don't know.
we'll see what happens when it happens.
So you'll definitely get 1 die for your skills.
Yep.
You're definitely going to have 1 black die for your ritual.
Darkness ritual, yeah.
mad
Would
skills.
you like a devil's bargain?
Oh man, I again as a player I don't, but
Do
for
it.
shape of show, it feels like it belongs there. Like this is just him being needlessly risky. So yes, I'm open to hearing about a devil's bargain, and we'll probably.
Do you all have any ideas? Something
What
that will
could go
happen,
wrong.
win or lose?
Oh, for a devil's bargain.
Yeah. Or a demon's bargain in this case, I suppose.
Yeah.
That it won't unbind. That this demon will then just hang out with Obeha for the rest of its life. Or Obeha's life. I don't know. I haven't thought it through. It's partial.
Yeah. I think successful or not, Obeha is bound to do some service for it.
Okay. Another thing I was thinking of is that the demon would somehow merge with Obeha and become like a voice or a part of his consciousness that he'd have to fight back against. That might be a little extreme. I like Mark's better than mine. I would accept that I am bound to do something for the demon.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I forgot it was whether you succeed or not.
Yeah. Well, so that kind of establishes like this is one way or the other. We're getting a demon out of this. We're just gonna see how it goes.
Either way, we get a demon.
Oh, man.
So that is 2 light dice and 1 dark die.
2 light and 1 dark?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it a 1 light for the skill, 1 light for the ritual, and then 1 dark for the
1 light for the skill, 1 light for the bargain, 1 dark.
Oh, okay. Cool. I will roll and see what happens. Apologies in advance. 5, 1, 1.
Okay, good. That is real good.
As good as I could have expected. Okay.
Not the best, but still good. So you do succeed, but there'll be a complication. Tell me what the ritual looks like using the darkness.
Oh wow.
I believe in a thing called love.
Yes, exactly. No. I think. Yeah. I think he summons the darkness with just incantations and gesture, but because he is Obeha, he is way too dramatic with it. Like he's like making sure he has everyone's attention, and then very loudly in the ancient tongue. And you kind of think he maybe doesn't know what he's saying.
Since it was a bad accent.
And yeah, and it's clearly his modern accent on all the syllables. And I think he gestures so that the darkness sweeps out of the forest and crushes each of the skulls to dust in sequence around the circle. And then the idea, I think, is that the darkness like shoots upwards so that there's now a cylinder surrounding all three of them, and you can make out little glimmers of light against the edges of this thing, and there is just a little circle of night sky up above, that is
and a voice that is of shadow comes out of your own mouth. And says, who summons the scourge and what is your purpose?
Wow, I've never talked to a demon
before. And I feel like he doesn't need because he says he's making such a show of it. Like, he doesn't actually need our attention for it, but he told us, like, oh, you guys have to pay very close attention and be part, and like, you have to watch him.
Yeah. Orlin thinks he cannot look away.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, really, we're not part of this ritual at all, but we have to pay. We have to watch him. Very important. No. Very important.
He said not to move. We can't help him.
Yeah. And whatever happens, don't say anything. Don't do anything. You're just going to.
Yeah. He said demons are tricky. Don't talk to it.
Oh, God.
Twist your words.
And I think Obeha is again, like, in this kind of tone, is like, our quest is towards the center of the hive where the queen lies, and we shall extract her precious jelly and take it far from this place. And you are bound to us on this quest. Bound, I say.
We are bound to one another.
There's an oh shit expression.
Like, those are the words that you spoke. You should know this.
Demons are so literal.
Yes, of course, if you're in that interpretation of the old tongue.
Hermeneutics.
Well, at least he still only needs one apiary suit.
Speak your wish, and I will say my price.
Okay. Mine will be unleash your scourge upon every bee that stands in our way between here and the innermost circle of the woods.
Oh, poor bees, golly. Obeha touching every bee.
Oh
no. The scourge says, it will be done, but all bees that fall to my touch must be consumed by you.
This demon is just fucking with you.
Oh
God. Bee fillets for days.
Oh wow.
Maybe we should, we better not run across a lot of bees.
Or the pact will be broken.
And
I hope you have a lot of bee recipes.
And I think, Flair is like, this is a terrible idea, but I think Obeha is like, yeah, I got this.
It makes sense.
I got the better of this bargain.
We can trick this demon.
I just want to envision Obeha for the rest of the adventure constantly having like basically a bee on a stick, like a turkey leg. He's just having me.
Yeah, Orland's gonna try to cook him up for you.
I think he's convinced, Obeha's convinced he can somehow like obey the letter but not the spirit of what is asked of him.
Yeah, I mean, like very, very literal.
Yeah, that sounds very demon, because that's what demons usually do, is they, find
some like the negotiation and trickery skills, I think.
And not only is the like
this is gonna go so badly for him.
You feel the words of the demon like sort of like click into place as you agree, and as it does, you also feel like sudden like hunger or compulsion to eat something sweet, sugar or honey. And like you can feel like a little bit of hunger now, but you can feel it.
No.
I'm sure that will be fine.
I'm so sorry, team.
What this game's
Cool.
about. We're all doomed.
And the
Is
darkness
that a
dissipates.
condition or
Yes, that is a condition.
bound
You
to
crave
be?
you crave sugar. Let's consume bees.
A hunger for bees.
The demon must eat bees.
All right, let's get you some
Oh, this is
recipes.
great.
So
That
you're
is
on the
good.
edge of this floodplain as well, with the towering plants.
Yeah, I'm sure being around plants will be good for Mr. Bee Eater.
Yay!
Let's see. Let me just read the description here. Yeah, I think I did part of this. The entire floodplain is a riot of color due to the flowering plants that take advantage of the precipitation, their stalks poking skyward well above the waterline. The average plant comes to just past head height, their roots forming a rough and uneven carpet that is invisible under the water. Footing is treacherous and the progress is slow. The swaying petals make it easy to lose sight of your fellow treasure hunters, especially with one's eyes on the ground to safely navigate the terrain. Perfume fills the air, olfactory fireworks as each bloom competes with its neighbors for the attention of the pollinators. The treasure hunters are overcome with a languor, a desire to tarry, although there's entirely too much ground to cover to seriously consider lingering. How are you proceeding across this floodplain?
I don't know. I feel like Obeha is going to ask for a break from walking like far more frequently than is useful.
Yeah, I mean, is it flooded enough that we could float something on it, a little barge, a little boat of some kind?
If the plants weren't there, yeah, but it's kind of like cornfield dense,
right.
like as if a cornfield had knee-deep water in it, and the corn was flowers.
And I imagine we're getting little slurping sounds as we lift our feet each time out of the muck.
Yeah, they have like mangrove-ish kind of runners under that, so it's easy to trip, easy to slip.
Oh god, every step could break your ankle.
I feel like you're trying to make this difficult for us. I just wanted a nice story.
Bees.
Bees.
I think the only logical thing is to make it more difficult for ourselves by trying to walk on stilts.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Still time.
Keep out
Yeah, I
of
was trying to
water.
figure out something silly that we could use.
Yeah. I feel like my
like
skills
poles. Maybe we could use poles to kind of
are
stilts essentially.
Yeah.
Well, my brother was a miner, and they'd work in the mines, and they'd often rig up the ladders to be able to get to tall spots. So I could make us some ladders, stilts, or something.
I think it's a good idea. Maybe with like maybe
Stilt
some kind of
time.
like snowshoe or some kind of base like that. So it's not just like a stick stilt. We need
Like
a
something
base
to
stilt.
expand the press.
Yeah.
Lily pad.
Who's
no
the one
problem.
making the stilts?
I'll do the work.
Oh no.
No problem. I don't mind. I've got the knowledge, so I should do it. It's just like Obeha knows how to find demons, so Obeha finds demons. I know how to cook.
I'm the ideal person. I can't
clean
execute. I'm like,
and make them. So that's why I should do that work.
All right.
Do I need to roll for it?
I think you don't necessarily have to roll to make the stilts themselves, but I think it's going to see how this
Whether
turns
they
out. And I don't think you have a skill that is necessarily
my brother.
Yeah. I don't think any of those skills go toward carpentry.
Persistence.
But you can take a
Destruction.
devil's bargain to get a die for it if you like.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do devil's bargain. It's okay to hear them and then not take them, or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, you don't have to
Yeah.
decide.
I like to shop around.
What's a devil's bargain for making those things? I think maybe the devil's bargain is you're able to make them, but it takes a long time and it is dark by the time you start crossing.
I was trying to figure out that like the pieces you extract from the plants to make the stilts evokes some sort of response from the. I feel like it's like an aspen grove. It's all one giant plant essentially.
Yeah, they're just like
You-
screaming as we.
You pissed it off.
My
I think
deal
the
is
stilts would have to be made in the forest from trees because the plants are like more like sunflowers.
Oh,
Oh, they're
never
more like
mind then.
reeds.
I was
Yeah.
kind of thinking that, like, since this is all flying by the seat of our pants, and like, you know, they don't. He doesn't really know how to make stilts. That it would help get us through this section quicker, but it's gonna like cause like
Yeah.
blisters and injuries to our feet and legs.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
So, well, yeah, it'll help
Sure.
us get through this marshy part, but then unfortunately, we're gonna kind of be a little more beat up and it's more slow going for the rest of the entire journey because we're gonna have blisters and cuts on our legs and feet.
These are all pretty good. I do like the idea that it angers the trees,
The like stilts poking into
have
the root
to-
system.
or to have, or maybe to have some of their branches taken.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to take that devil's bargain?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh no.
Okay,
We'll
cool.
have pissed off
Um,
bees and pissed off trees.
I know that we could play this game in a way that where we stood a chance, but I want to play it
Not really.
the way that the story. We're just gonna go into the ground quicker.
Are you going to risk your body or mind somehow to succeed at this? Or I don't think you can use a ritual, but I can't think of any way that would be.
I mean, not until we're on the stilts.
Yeah. So I think it's just gonna be one leg die.
Yeah, this will be fine. And this is for it working or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll find out. I rolled a 4.
Or
not
okay, cool.
bad.
So that will work, but there will be a complication. And I think the complication is as you, it's you kind of have to pick your way. So you make the stuff, and the plants are angry too. Okay, so
Oh,
you
yeah.
you fashion your stilts, and you're able to sort of get
Like
everyone
Wizard of
up.
Oz trees.
Oh god.
And they're ooh, yeah.
Like, why does it?
Yeah, I like that.
Why do I feel like I hear a faint screaming from the stilts? That's weird.
Oh, it feels just like when Ara would be giving me the cold shoulder. You know, you like when you got a partner and you know they're mad and they're not ready to tell you they're mad yet.
There's
I
just
don't know
this
why. Funniest
constant
thing.
cold wind somehow coming out of the trees.
Yeah.
Funniest thing.
What's that? I think yeah. As you're doing it, let me make a roll here. See. Oh yeah. I like that. Okay, great. As you're sitting on the edge of the forest, gathering and cutting, there's the pollen and puffballs and things kind of like blow into the forest from the floodplain. And as you're sitting there working, your eyes start watering.
Oh,
and
no.
you feel your breathing a little bit more labored, and you realize that you are highly allergic to the pollen from these plants.
Even with my bee suit on?
Yeah.
Too relatable.
I know. I wanted to do fantasy.
Allergic to pollen.
Socks.
So you're realizing that even as you cross the floodplain, that could be a problem if it's not addressed somehow.
I'll do like I do in
And-
life and then try to ignore it.
Good plan. And
It works.
As you're finishing up, and like everyone's kind of hobbling, getting their feet and sort of figuring out how they work before going into the floodplain. Someone grabs Orlin, what kind of supplies are you carrying? Like, who took the who took the vial, who took the map, who took the stinger, if anyone, and what else?
I
are you
imagine
carrying?
I got the map.
I definitely wanted the stinger. I just felt I was like, oh, this be like a cool little weapon.
Yeah, I feel like the other two
Yeah.
took the cool things, and I took the map.
Yeah, Obeha took the antitoxin, probably thinking it was some demon ritual thing. Like no understanding of what it actually is.
Yeah. Orlin was interested in that.
Where did you stash the map?
I think Obeha has it stashed in like a pocket inside his sleeve.
Oh, I thought Orlin took it.
Oh,
Yeah, I was thinking that Orlin took it just because Orlin
Took the
would
map,
take
right?
practical things.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were asking just all of the things. Where were they stashed?
Oh,
Never mind.
Yeah. So where did Orlin?
I have
stash
it
the
in
map?
my I got a little like vest on it. I've got it stuffed in a pocket, my breast.
Okay. So as you're you kind of like you lurch around a little bit and fall a little bit backwards on the stilts, but to get your stuff. But you feel you are supported from behind, and you look back, and it's actually one of the tree branches has
Oh, no.
come and sort of clamped you, and the branches are slowly encircling you and trying to get inside the hood of the robe. It's kind of like the you're kind of stuck in the branches. They're kind of like pulling at the robe.
Naughty branches.
And Obeha and Osto also, like, they see this happen, and as you
Just keep walking.
as you do that, like there's vines that are kind of like trying to grab the bottom of the stilts and curling their way up, and the branches of the forest are leaning towards you more. What do you do?
I think Obeha threatens the trees verbally, which is not useful.
We still have the demon with us, or
Yeah, it is bound to Obeha.
oh yeah. Obeha, use your demon.
Yeah, and as you verbally assault the trees, they branch on shoulder, branch under arm, and they're like, you're kind of off balance on the stilts, and they're like kind of like knocking you side to side.
It's not very nice.
I feel like Osto wants to use his power of illusions.
Always does.
Be like, all right, listen, Arboreous ones, I am of the Feyborn. We're practically related. Now, don't make me use my flame skills. It doesn't actually have.
Everybody
I do
knows
have
such big
illusion
words.
skills.
Cool. So what is your intention with this? To just make them back off from the flames?
Yeah, just be like, bluff that I could burn this whole place down if they keep fucking with us.
Like do a glamour to show flames on your hands or something.
And Orlin is reacting as if true because Orlin does not know. Oh my gosh, that would be so dangerous here.
What could go wrong?
Well, my gut is, since it's an illusion, that I mess up the illusion and it's not flames. It's just they're like, you're spouting butterflies at you.
Like butterfly.
I will
Anime attack.
butterfly you tree, and then so they continue their whatever they're doing, their approach, their attack, their or no, it's
Or maybe they see
I
you
want
as
something is more interesting to me, but less likely. Not that that matters. Is that maybe it's like if maybe I succeed too well, and the trees believe so much in my illusions that they do catch on fire, and now we're in the midst of a burning forest.
Yeah, that was gonna be mine.
Say.
That I was gonna say. It's like, oh, that even if you either actually do have some fire ability, or that it like some gas catches fire.
I feel like it's kind of one of those, the power of the mind. If they believe strong enough.
Oh, the
might actually be
trees
real.
are actually magical and they make the fire happen. Oh no! It's like a sphere. Don't think about fire.
Beha, do you have anything?
I was just thinking that they are so convinced by the threat that they decide to kill Osto like as quickly as they can manage.
Love it.
It's not just like we're mad at you and getting a little bit of petty revenge. It's like
Extinguish
no.
the threat.
Yeah, murder.
You
immediately.
are a threat to the forest.
Cool. So you're gonna get 1 light die from illusions, and 1 dark die for using your glamour. Would you like another light die for a devil's bargain?
Glamour magic.
What is, have we established what the bargain is? Or any
Nope.
of those that
Would you like one? And then we'll come up with one.
I mean,
You can
I'm
choose.
open to maybe if it's a good
All
bargain.
right.
We'll see.
Shop around.
Yeah, exactly. I like a window shop.
Um,
I'm spontaneous.
maybe
It's in my nature.
maybe we go you're able to do it very well, whether you succeed or fail. You exhaust yourself and unable to use that glamour anymore.
I will offer that you succeed in creating the flame effect, but it gets stuck. So now you are flaming
Constantly on flames.
Yeah. For the
Oh, I
rest of
don't
the
think I
adventure.
could beat that. That's amazing.
Like good luck moving in darkness.
Right.
Oh yeah, that I will just I'll
No, I
cede
think
my
we'll take-
time.
those are both way too permanent.
That's true.
Giving up a power, either way, basically giving up one of my powers.
Yeah, yeah.
Or your feelings get hurt.
Mm,
Choose one.
Can I offer up my own devil's bargain
Sure.
possibility? That again, so convincing that I do actually get 2nd-degree burns on my hands.
Ooh.
okay. Yeah, that would probably be a condition, but yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
a
accept
condition.
that if you want to take that. Cool. So that would be 2 light
I'm
dice
trying
and
to
1
pick.
dark die if you want to take that.
Yeah, fuck it, why not? Let's take it.
Ah, gee, real magic.
Orlin is
All
having
right.
the best time.
It's such a great day for Orlin.
4, a 3, and a 2.
Okay, so you've got a 4
So
now.
that's not the worst.
If you're not happy with your roll, you could add another dark die. So you'd be rolling 2 light, 2 dark. Or you can stick with the 4.
It seems like sticking with, because the only reason to do that would be in hopes of getting a 6, right?
Yeah, which would mean that no. So right now it's going to work, but there's going to be complications.
Right. And by adding another dark die, you're also, so it's now 2 dice that could be higher than your roll. It just, yeah, that doesn't seem like a good idea. I think we'll
The odds of getting a 6 on 4 dice are pretty good.
1 out of
Oh, there is that.
times.
Well, let's just do it because hey, it's a mechanic. Let's use the mechanic.
Sure.
That's
Okay,
a
so
good
4
enough reason
dice.
for me.
2 light, 2 dark.
Let's see what happens. Hey, look at that.
You got your 6, but it is a dark die.
Oh no.
Oh.
So yeah, you totally do it. Your ruin goes up by 1.
Ruins, ruin. No, it's only a 4 now. It's fine.
And I'm going to say that, yeah, even though it is an illusion, you are the flames are so convincing that it becomes hot, and we are burning your hands for the devil's
Ow.
bargain. So you
Fuck.
have 2nd-degree burns.
Oh no.
Ow! On your beautiful hands.
Ow.
Yeah,
I
hands.
mean,
Because the flames are actually hot, whether they are fire or not. It is magically hot, and
Magic
the
hot.
the tree branches kind of like pull back a little bit, and they're like, maybe this is not real, and they actually get singed. And when they get singed, all of you feel the branches that have pulled on you are like all recoil at once.
Damn right.
And
Oh,
so
no.
your ruin is up. How does that so like you've exceeded you've used your glamour before, but this time, like in this moment of sort of danger and desperation, it feels like you have unlocked like the next level of your power somehow. And
I'm definitely like
you get
super
this
impressed with
rush.
myself in
Yeah.
I think I'm not even like in my mind in this moment, it's nothing but good. It's like, that's awesome. I just made real feeling. I know I burned the shit out of my hands, but come on, that was great.
Wowee. I also imagine this whole time Orlin has been running interference between Obeha and bees. Like trying to keep bees away from Obeha.
So also you feel like you feel like super pumped. You're just like you feel powerful.
I'm a little
I
drunk
think
on power.
Obeha is saying like
exactly.
sententious things like you are connected to the deeper power.
What else
that
could you
underlies all
do?
of magic.
Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe you can get
That's
rid of all
right,
the
trees.
water.
You remember who's the boss, trees.
Whoa.
So the trees
will not
withdraw,
bite
and you can start stomping across the trees, the plants.
Oh, I don't feel great about it.
Interesting, cool.
We're
I
just
hate it when
making
you.
enemies at every step of this journey.
Yes. No one so far has liked us.
How it works. So this is late afternoon, probably still, and you are maybe getting on to evening, and you are still walking through the plants, and they're a little bit taller in the middle. They looked like they were a little bit above head height, and when you entered, like they probably came up to just about your eyes. But as the land dips and rises, there's bits of more swampy areas. Maybe there's a dry bit, but in the middle of the floodplain, that's where like all of the plants are at their they're just loving it. And you actually you lose sight of each other for a little bit, and because you kind of still have to like navigate the roots and stuff. Like you put your stilt down and it kind of slips on a branch, and you stumble a little bit, and it's hard to keep track. You know what general direction you're going in, but you do find yourself separated. And Orlin,
no, the others don't have a map.
Oh no, they also don't have allergies.
Oh no.
And you're finding your breathing becoming very, very labored, and the additional exertion of using the stilts is like very, very much wearing on you. And
I need some more aesthetic distance.
The flowers are actually more like they have a lot of pollen, and as you brush through them, you're actually like collecting this golden pollen,
like a little bee.
On your like a little bee, kind of. It's like getting all over your things, and you're just like, and this is all of you. You're just like covered in this pollen.
Got like big butts of pollen.
Yeah. And yeah, Orlin's having a real bad time.
No, this is how I die.
I might not be able to see
Like
Orlin, but I can keep track of him by his
Achoo!
And you're feeling this is exhausting. You're not sure how much farther to go, and your stilt clunks against a root, but then you see whatever you clunked into kind of like skips out of the water and scuttles away a little bit around it. What does it look like?
A friend.
The root rat.
It looked like it was I thought it was a root and it scuttled away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's like a underwater millipede.
Ooh, yeah, but it's a big one. It's like you like kind of get up and you can see like it goes on for a little bit longer than you think.
Too many legs.
About the size of a a grown man's arm, probably only like
Yeah.
three or four arms long. And it scuttles away and kind of like dips in and out of the water. And you see, maybe like 6 feet ahead of you, it comes out and kind of winds its way around one of the flower plants, and its head and little like pinchy antennae kind of like wafts around in the breeze. Like, it probably can't smell you, but it's like something's there. Something got me. I'm going to see what it is. So there's a 6 foot long millipede hanging out of one of the plants.
I'll just try not to make any loud noises like sneezing or anything.
Probably.
No.
You can do it.
Yeah, that's the buddy, about that size compared to Peter.
Oh, friend.
Yep, just exactly like that.
It's looking at me so
friendly.
much.
It's our new pet.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm sure this one thing we've run across will be friendly.
Of course. Sooner or later,
We'll make
something's got to be
friends with
friendly,
it.
right?
We'll finally make a good impression on somebody.
Finally.
And the millipede goes, Obeja?
Obeja, you
Son of a
bastard!
bitch.
Son of a bitch, Obeja.
Next time you kill a millipede, make sure you finish the job.
I'm not sorry I had you disgraced from the demon
I love this.
college.
Recognizing Obeja is always the worst thing that could happen.
Asto, you are also feeling this a little bit too. It's not, you're not feeling allergies, but you are getting like the Wizard of Oz kind of like, this is the pollen is making you kind of sleepy and maybe not as careful as you could be.
It's fine, I can burn the
Oh,
pollen.
because Asta was so careful before.
Yeah.
His
Your
usual
mind
caution
drifts
almost to a fault.
more than usual, I think.
Be good to
Oh,
loosen up a little.
No.
And where did you put the stinger?
I mean, I feel like I feel like I was holding it as long as I could, but if it comes to time when like I can't hold it anymore because I need hands to stilt or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I'm like, I'm gonna wield this thing, man.
So much wielding.
Then yeah, I feel like I would have like a pouch or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there other stuff in that pouch?
I feel like there would be. I don't think I'd just have an empty, dedicated stinger pouch.
Yeah,
I
just
didn't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
In
probably
fact,
some more stuff in
you're
there.
pretty loose about stuff. So like that's just your pouch where you throw stuff.
Yeah, well,
Probably
it's
grab
my
it.
junk pouch. It's my junk
Or
Orly
Orland
pouch.
tried to organize it
Yes.
for you, but you have since ruined it.
It always has rubber bands
And as you're kind of like
thumbtacks.
stumbling through the flowers and kind of just like in kind of a haze drifting, you hear a sploosh at your feet, and you look down and there's a broken strap on your shoulder, and you look down and you see rings of water where something has dropped, and you kind of like feel, and your pouch has either been snapped off somehow or you dropped it while you're kind of daydreaming, but it's fallen into the water at your feet. Is it just wet, or did it fall in some like sticky pollen?
I think it's just wet. Because my gut instinct is it's pretty durable. It's like a leather pouch,
Yeah.
so you don't want it in water too long. But I mean, it's meant to be durable and meant for traveling and things, so not easily like ruined or anything.
Cool. Sweet. You're gonna leave it, or
No,
Get it.
I feel like instinctually I'd just be like, oh, my pouch, I gotta get it.
Leave it behind.
I don't even think I would
Run
think twice
away.
before
Does
you-
not
are
spark
reaching in
joy.
my pouch.
hopping off the stilts to do that?
Yeah, I think I'd have to, because I don't think I could
Yeah.
really.
Mark, it
Yeah.
seems like you're trying to get us to do things that hurt us.
I'm just asking questions.
I
Ask
feel like
questions.
it's kind of pissed. I'm like, God damn it, I need my.
Playing devil's
Gotta
advocate.
get off
here.
my stilts to
Yeah,
get my
just-
pouch, but I'm
just
not gonna leave my
asking
pouch. I wouldn't have left
Um,
my pouch before, much less now that I've got my cool stinger in it.
Right. And the water here is kind of deep. It's like a bit over your knees. And
bitch.
it's it's not gross. It's relatively clean water. It's a little bit mucky, but not like disgusting.
I love that pouch. It's got some cool embroidery on it.
But you're kind of like knee deep in the
valuable.
water, and as you sort of like fish around for it and grab it, and it's whatever's in there is wet for sure.
Yeah.
And you kind of as you come up, you're kind of like eye level to a big plant that's kind of like it's basically a big pitcher plant. It's just like in front of you or in front of you where you stood up. That's all.
I'm sure it's fine.
No bad consequences.
And you hear above the hum becomes louder as the swarm, you're pretty sure it's the same swarm that noticed you at the beginning, has begun circling over the flowers, and they it dips down now, and a couple clouds like land on the flowers and swift off, and you see them all sort of going in one direction. Obeha,
Hello. I'm just having a fabulous time.
You're actually
comedy
doing
threes.
pretty good here, and
You
A
found
bit
that
in
pretty
his
good.
element.
keep your head above the flowers a little bit. Maybe you're a little bit, you got demon height, but you do see a large cloud of bees coming toward you as you're kind of sticking out.
It's a lot of bees to eat, Obeha.
Yeah, they're gonna die, but you're gonna kill them.
And you kind of see like this flock like swim around, then like almost like cartoon form a point, and just start like
Beelining.
beelining toward you. How do you react to this?
Kill
Okay.
yourself and
Yeah, no, I'm sure that that Obeha says with desperately unearned confidence, Scourge, now is your time.
No, now is your time.
And then my mouth just disengages.
Well, I get the
Zombies
feeling.
go
I get the
inside.
feeling that Obeha literally blames everything on demons. Like my belt loop broke. Demons,
Demons!
curse you.
Yes, all of that.
No, baby, that wasn't me with that lady. That was a demon.
There was demons.
Cool. So the swarm of bees does descend upon you, and these are, they're slightly larger than normal. They're a good like 2 or 3 inches long. They're large bees.
And they're not
like
innocent bumblebees.
they're not
sorts of-
innocent
I'm gonna
bumblebees.
bump
They
into
are.
a flower a few times and wander off.
Bump, bump, bump.
And they are honeybees,
Hello.
and they are attracted to the pollen which is on you. And
Oh,
also
no.
they recognize you and they start swarming around you.
Oh,
and
God. And they recognize Obeha.
Exactly.
Oh,
Hey,
you son of
Obeha.
a bitch!
and some of them like land on your wicker face thing, and you can like kind of see like the stingers kind of like feeling for it, almost like it's like
Like
right
coming
here. So
in.
yeah, like there's a stinger like a centimeter
Mm.
from your eye, like coming in and buzzing angrily, kind of like
Oh,
licking
that's
you
sad.
all around.
That's disconcerting.
How does the
Bee
scourge
tongues.
kill these bees?
Oh, God. I
thought it was that he had to eat them.
Yeah, I think that's what Obeha wasn't counting on, is that he has to take the wicker off and open. The command he gets that I don't think he can disobey, is to remove the wicker frame and open his mouth.
Mm.
Ugh.
Cool, yeah, and
And he can feel his jaw unclicking as he does so. It just
Yeah.
opens way too much.
So this is just going to be a ruin roll.
Okay. I'm sorry, America.
When you witness or undergo something harmful or disturbing, roll 1 dark die. If the die is higher than your current ruin, your ruin increases by 1.
Okay.
So
I'm
just
just
one
rolling
die.
1.
Yep.
And it's gonna be bad.
Let's find out.
It's a 6.
Ooh. So you
Whoa.
are at ruin
2.
Oh, 2. So you're at ruin 3 now. Great.
See, that's why you should have a ruin 4 like me. It's easier not to roll above it.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
but,
that's
so-
good.
So yeah, this is a your but man, good thing the rest of you aren't around, or you would probably also have to make ruin rolls. So yeah, so your
Good thing
your
we
jaw
split up.
Always split the
distends.
party.
And like as you open your mouth, the demon kind of like, it's not a roar, but it's kind of in between like a growl and a howl. Only in and the bees kind of like, some of them like grab, sting you on the face as they're going in, or like they sting you on the inside of your throat. But you do manage to like suck dozens and dozens of these 2-3 inch long bees in. And fortunately, you don't
Obeha,
have
the
to
bee vacuum.
chew them. They do live for a little while in your mouth and sting you a couple times. But you can feel the demon becoming stronger as it sucks the life out of each one, and you swallow a bunch of them.
You just hear
And
them
they-
all say, "Obeha, you son of a bitch. I
and-
know you.
I'll get
and
back
you
to
can-
the demon
you can kind of-
committee with this.
You'll
you can
never
kind
get
of sense
tenure."
that
You'll never
that
get
the rest of the storm like recognizes what's
Oh,
happening.
shit.
And they sort of like, it pulls back for a little while and circles you a little bit. 1 or 2 more get sucked in, and then they fly away.
Oh, Beha has made more enemies.
And now they
And
recognize
as they as the last one goes down your throat, your mouth shrinks to a normal size, and it's a considerable amount of pain from the stinging and just from the physical transformation. It's not a pretty thing, but you have dispatched many bees.
Obeha, the bee
Ugh.
vac.
Adding a
Back.
condition.
Yeah, and you
Shit is
actually,
going down.
yeah, oh boy. Cool. Orlin, you've got a friend right in front of you, sort of
No.
waving its little. What do you do?
Charm it.
Yeah,
Tame
I was
it.
thinking about like Orlin, not necessarily tame it, but like to try to like not spook it and kind of get away from it.
Crouch down real low and
Back,
approach it
back.
real slow and pet it.
Back away and what do I have any, maybe I offer food. I always offering things food.
Yay. Making friends. Making friends.
Get a little bit of that mullet out of your pouch.
Yeah, I guess Orlin would first try.
Would not
making
immediately
friends.
choose violence.
Yeah, Orlin. Yeah, I guess Orlin's like, let's see if it's friendly.
It's just nature, man.
Let's see if it's friendly or not.
Yeah, I'm gonna feed the bug.
It's
What are
very
you feeding it?
something.
What do I have? I have some of that grain. I got some wine.
She feeds it
Fine.
Obeha.
Get it drunk.
Okay.
Yeah, get the
Yeah,
millipede
I got like
drunk.
little biscuits, like little
Limba spread.
tack. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got little ship's tack. So I
Nice.
offered a little.
Cool.
Some MREs.
Are you still on the stilts, or have you gotten down? It's kind of eye level with you on the stilts.
Yeah, I'm still
Okay. It as you move towards it, it definitely senses you and sort of stays still as you approach. It's trying to like look like a root, kind of. And as you get closer, you can see its little antennae kind of wiggling a little bit. And you've seen millipedes before, never this big. But they're insects or bugs, and they kind of have little mandibles like that. This one, it goes to grasp the tack in its mouth, but goes forward a little bit more and puts its front legs on it. And as it opens its mouth, its entire underside opens up with little pinchers. And by the time you realize what's happening, the main pinchers have latched onto your wrists and the other ones are
damn
kind
it.
of sucking, like breaking up the tack. And
I tried to make one friend.
Yeah.
Is it the isopod? The tongue isopod? Yeah. God damn it.
What do you do?
It's like there's nothing friendly in this game.
Nothing wants to be my friend.
This is
No.
so unrealistic. Sorry.
So it's sucking on my arm.
Yeah, it has latched itself onto your arm and is eating the tack away, and will probably go to work on your hand next.
All right.
got a new
So
bracer.
Now I'm no longer friendly, and I think I'm gonna try to I think I'm gonna hop down off the stilts and try to bash it against a tree.
Ooh, okay. This is definitely risky then.
What?
Yeah.
Normal.
It sounds like destruction for your skill, so you're definitely gonna die
Yeah,
there.
I'm very good at destruction.
Would you like a devil's bargain? Oh, before we do that, what could go wrong?
It's so many things.
Other millipede are in the area and see what's going on.
Yep, they smell the blood in the water.
He miscalculates and just bashes his own hand and arm into the rock.
Yeah, and I think it starts eating away at your forearm and makes it down to bone before you can get it off.
Oh,
Aha!
I'll also suggest millipedes contain like acid. And so as it bashes apart.
Eating away.
Or that it already has poisoned me. In
Hey, you
some
can
way.
become burn buddies with me.
Burn
Yeah.
buddies.
2 down. Cool. Do you want to take a devil's bargain? That will happen whether you succeed or fail.
Yeah, let's hear him out.
Well, I think, like you
Um,
said, succeed or fail could have a highly burned with acid arm. 'Cause if you do smash it, acid on your arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't
I'll
smash
also-
it, then it eats through your arm.
No matter what happens, at least the front section of the millipede is permanently affixed into your arm.
Like I lose an arm. Oh, that I have it permanently. Yeah.
Yeah, you have an arm, there's just millipede waving around on it.
guys.
What
happened to
another one
you?
might be whether you succeed at getting it off or not, you succumb to your allergies a bit and kind of fall.
Yeah, that they exacerbate.
Yeah.
I definitely want a millipede stuck on my arm. Just because it's both silly
Sorry.
but it is also horrifying. Yeah,
Right.
so I'll take that bargain.
You can't
that
like
too-
unhinge the
Like,
jaws, so it's just
Yeah.
yeah, it's latched in somehow. It sounds like you're risking your body for this.
Don't really have a choice.
Yeah. So that sounds like 2 light dice and 1 dark die.
Ooh,
1,
Ooh.
4 to 6.
And 4 and 6. So you did do it. You're,
With a plum.
with a dark die, and so your ruin goes up to 4.
Oh yeah.
Hey, welcome to the 4 Ruin Club.
Yeah, I'm gonna win
Darkness.
soon.
Join
Find
the
a pollen in a
Join the
game.
forest.
In a made up game.
Now we're ahead of
die.
Obeha. Obeha only has 3 Ruin.
And
Yeah.
so many bees. So many bees.
How many bees have you eaten, Obeha?
So
Lots.
many. Too many.
Cool. So you bash it, bash it off of you. In fact, it just you are horrified at this and just like smash and smash and smash and smash and smash.
It's still stuck.
Yeah. So the
It dies, but
head-
it's stuck.
yeah, the head of the millipede actually, so that it's got that opening all the way down of little mouths, but
Oh,
the front jaw is actually like huge. I mean, it's the size. The head is the size of a fist, so it's like literally this size. And what it has done is some of the acid has eaten into your arm, but the pinchers have actually pierced through your arm and sort of it's got the barbs on each end, and it's hooked itself in between your forearm bones here,
oh.
radius.
Great.
Between the radius and the ulna.
between the radius and the ulna, and the head is just like latched on there, and it hurts like a motherfucker. It is real bad. There's it's although you've killed it because the inside is soft, the outside, the shell is actually very, very, very hard. It's not necessarily metallic, but it is. It feels like as hard as like some sort of ceramic or something, and you cannot pull it off.
So you've got a new weapon.
Jewelry.
Yeah,
Oh,
very,
no.
very painful.
So we
jewelry.
all learned a
Beauty is
very
pain.
good lesson here. Don't make friends with things.
That's right. Yeah, fuck friends.
I tried.
We tried to choose friendship.
Of course, I can't
Right.
imagine how painful it'd be for you to try and hit something else with that thing that's attached through your arm.
Yeah, if it
no.
doesn't get off of me, then I can hit something else with it.
Or even more.
Yeah.
Where are we? Osto, you were on the ground face to face with a pitcher plant, and just kind of feeling dopey. You're like, oh, I lost my stuff, and now I'm down here in the water, and just like,
No.
if the water wasn't knee deep, you would probably just lie down and take a nap.
Oh no.
We were just like, I don't know, getting up on the stilts feels like a lot of work.
Mm.
Oh.
I don't know.
This game is too real.
I think my instinct is both to wake myself up and also get all this fucking pollen off me, is just to like submerge myself completely for a minute and just like completely
Fantastic.
Sure.
wash
Getting
all
in the
that
water
pollen
is a
off,
great idea.
get some brisk water to wake me up.
Oh, we're never gonna make it to
know,
the bees.
It's like splashing your face.
Would you say a skill applies to that? Because this seems like a risky thing to me.
But I do have a dexterity skill
Oh.
and spontaneity. I would say either one, both those kind of.
I'll give you a
apply
die
here.
for both of those. What do we think could go wrong from Osto submerging himself in the water?
Also forgets which way is up.
Oh no.
I am a little sleepy.
Oh
Apparently.
man, his mind is already kind of susceptible, and I feel like there's some enchantment to the water. I haven't thought this through. Yeah, let's see. Maybe there's so much pollen embedded in the water, or that's settled in there, that this soporific effect that it's having will hit him so hard that he may
Oh.
black out.
Yeah,
As soon
that's
as
kind of what I was thinking too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry.
Or
Awesome.
just as another
Oh, yeah,
option,
good.
3 words. Face full of leeches. That's 4 words, I guess.
Face full of leeches.
Yeah, full
Yeah,
of
I figured the other one would be like an animal of some sort is under there.
Is your
Or
picture
snapping turtle.
of the bees next to the M&M plant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you like a devil's bargain to get another white die?
Probably not, but shoot at me. Let's see what we got. I mean, I don't know if I can afford to do it at this point, but
Let's see.
but I'm a spontaneous sort of fae.
Get devil's bargain.
Oh man.
Mhm.
I kind of feel like maybe it messes with your vision somehow. Like you get swamp water against your eyes and it never quite clears out. So you're always seeing just sort of like floaters, only dark colored and very large.
Sure.
Kind of zipping
I like
across
that
your
a lot.
field of vision.
Swamp
I'm going to
floaters.
offer
Swamp
that,
floaters, yeah. Oh god, this is too real.
as you go under, you attract the attention of something that lives under there, and it is coming after you.
New friend.
Friend.
This is the one we'll tame. And he goes,
New
you know Obeha, don't you? And I'm like, son of a bitch.
Obeha, you son of a bitch.
No, I feel like too much shit's gone wrong with me. No devil's bargain for me this time.
Okay.
Oh, so conservative.
I think that's just one die.
Sleepy.
No one might die.
Well, that's as bad as that gets.
Okay.
That'd be an utter failure.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. So you know how they do those that like water painting thing where they put like oil paints on water and then you dip the thing into it and it comes out with a pattern on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like that, only with pollen.
Oh no.
Dipping balls on pollen.
And this is not like the fluffy light golden pollen that has been floating around. This is
I look like Swamp Thing now.
pollen that's fallen to the surface over years and years and years.
So
And
pollen.
although fallen pollen. Although you're at first glance, since you're so dopey and sleepy right now, you're like, that just looks like water. But like before you can stop yourself, just as you get to like, it's clear there's a like film of just black green pollen
Ew.
that just like covers the entire surface.
Too late. I'm already committed.
Did you have your mask on or off?
I think it was still on.
Okay.
I don't think that's what I thought about it.
So
dopey.
you put your whole self underwater and you're like
Blurp.
kind of like
All about.
planking underwater a little bit to sort of get yourself under there. And the water rushes into the mask. And you
Oops.
can it just like covers your face and the inside of the mask with this black goopy pollen stuff. And you like kind of waterboarding yourself.
Everything
And
sucks.
your mask is waterlogged. It's hard to bring your head up. The clothes feel slow, and you feel like, I don't know, you just had, this is just a lot of work, and you just kind of like give yourself into it and sort of just like, I'm gonna take a rest face down in the water here.
Well, that's what you do.
Hmm.
Yeah,
We've all
time
had
for
those days.
Osto.
Orlin and Obeha, you are both still on your stilts.
I'm not.
You aren't? I thought you.
I hopped down to smash my hand.
Oh, right. You can get back on your stilts if you want to keep walking that way, though, because you're not dopied up.
Oh yeah,
You
I'm
are-
very awake.
Yeah, you're pretty. You're not great situation from the breathing and the.
May never
pollen.
sleep again.
But you get to a part near the far edge of the floodplain, to where you can like see each other over the flowers. But you do not see Osto anywhere.
Oh, Beha, you son of a bitch.
Demons.
Demons. Uh-oh, where's
and in fact,
Osto?
Obeha, you can hear the voice of the scourge kind of like quietly chuckling in the back of your head.
Oh no.
Mm.
Oh yes. I think Obeha is immediately saying, I fear the worst may have happened to Osto.
Demons? That's the worst, right?
Yeah,
No.
he thinks it's demons probably.
Oh,
I can tell that the
no.
demons of this place have probably claimed him among their own.
Well, I guess I better look around for him.
Yeah, I think Obeha is like, nope, nothing can be done. He lives in the demon realm now.
Orlin's like doing a little search out
Yeah,
from
already just
like
kind of
Orlin's
moved.
made a little like center spot and is like looking out from a
Oh,
radius
great.
already. Okay.
Oh man.
Well,
It's empty.
Obeha is just speechifying. We shall remember his bravery against the demon hordes that must
All
have been
right. And mark off. It's like drawn on the paper.
for it is in
Um,
that glory that he gets to rise.
Orlin, you do not find Osto anywhere, but you do see they're not bees, but they're like carrion birds sort of circling over a part of the swamp not too far away.
Mm. Yep, that's where we head. Sure, it's a good idea.
Oh man, yeah.
Are you booking it over there, or are you just kind of like,
Yeah, I'm just
let's see what we
assuming
can
that's
see?
And I think
Yeah, I was-
Obeha will follow after a pause because he doesn't want to be alone again.
somebody has to
Mind
listen
attack.
to your speeches.
Orlin, it's going to be a little bit risky trying to move through the swamp at that speed. I'm going to say persistence is probably going to work for you there. So like get you
Finally.
1 light die. And I assume your intention is to get to Osto before he drowns or otherwise dies. What could go wrong?
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
falling over, snap, or breaking a leg, basically.
Hmm.
Um, or
Also succumbing to the wooziness and deciding to lay down and take a nap with me.
I like that.
There's like a big sinkhole place and falling through to like a underground cavern.
Ooh.
I'm not supposed to
just-
make up my own, am I?
or just getting there too late and finding dead floating Osto.
Oh, they're
We've all
great.
been
Okay.
dead this whole time.
We've been dead for 15 years.
We've all been
Orlin,
laying face down in the
It's all an Oxbow incident thing.
yeah.
Orlin, would you like a devil's bargain?
Yeah, give it to me.
Hit me.
I don't think I have long to live with this allergies.
What would be a devil's bargain? Oh, this is silly, but both of the stilts break in the process, and you have to just slurp the rest of the way out.
Even worse, only one breaks.
Oh God.
I'm
know if
going to
that's bad
offer. You need to discard a bunch of stuff you're carrying, including
Oh, that's
your
better,
your
yeah.
mask and stuff, to be able to get there in time.
I have to be naked, yes. Take my clothes off.
I mean, I would say there's a high possibility of this attached millipede head through his arm of
Oh,
getting
yeah.
infected with all the swamp
Ooh.
water.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Oh, yeah,
Do you,
so
do
great.
you like any of those? Would you
Oh,
like
they're
to take
all
any of
so
those?
good. Sorry, what were the options? Devil's bargain, infection,
Broken stilts was the weak
broken
one.
stilts,
Or ditch all your stuff?
ditch all my stuff. Oh, those are all so good. I think ditching all my stuff.
Okay, cool.
Because it seems fine now and will be bad later.
Okay, cool. You can roll 2 light dice then.
6 and a 3.
Wow, that you could not get better. Great. So as
Get
you
naked.
just motor on it, like the plants and stuff, they like catch on your cloak, on your hood, on your it's almost as if they're grabbing for you. You don't feel
Cannot
that
be
they are
stopped.
moving. But you're just like, fuck this, fuck this, fuck this, fuck this, fuck this.
The lesson here is always get naked.
Yes.
And by the time you get there, you see Osto floating face down in this like black water. Obeha's a little bit behind you.
Any bubbles coming from my mouth? Blurp.
Not anymore, no.
Oh,
no.
no.
Blurp.
What do you do?
Mouth to mouth. I'm
Get
naked
down,
already.
flip them over. You are able to once you get Osto's face out of the water, you're able to like get him to spit it out. You're covered in this black pollen goo, and you get some on your face as well. You like choke up the water, and that black pollen that was on him is doing your allergies no good either. And you're straining and just like struggling through this. But Osto is not all the way dead.
He's mostly dead.
But
check through his pockets for loose change.
but he's just like wet, covered in gross stuff. His mask has floated away somewhere.
Sucks.
And yeah, it's a nasty situation, but just like kind of like cradle him up, and by the time Obeha gets there,
Come here, baby.
okay guys, what's going on?
Demons.
Demons! How dare you? I will be avenged upon you.
Yeah, so that's gross. But through
Don't
all
try to
this, you're
bathe in the water.
able to get.
Don't tell me I can't.
don't tell me what I can't do.
Oh
I'm
no!
gonna
Don't
bathe
do
in all
that.
this
Don't.
water.
This is my
And as you're like getting yourselves together, the other two of you notice that Obeha's face and lips are just like puffy from being stung a lot. He's even got like a couple, like Obeha hasn't really noticed, but there's a couple barbs sticking out of his like cheek. Yeah, maybe one is sticking out from the inside. Pretty
got a
good.
little something there.
Obeha, do you want me to help you with your?
And I think Obeha will insist that everything is fine.
Oh, okay.
I'm fine, everything's fine. Just had had a situation with a demon. It's fine.
Oh yeah.
Technically true.
The best kind of truth. Cool, and you're able to make it most of the way to the edge of the floodplain. Just before you sort of the ground rises a little bit. Who's in front?
I think Obeha is probably in front.
Yeah.
Your stilt gets stuck in something. It feels as like squishy, like mud, and you kind of like you're able to shake it loose and pull it back out. But as you sort of look down after you pull it out, it is not mud. You put your stilt through the torso of a body that was floating face down. Has been there for quite some time. It's gray and green and soft, and you just pierced straight through it. It's like one of the legs is completely rotted away or been torn off. The hair is like half off because some of the skin is coming off too.
Right.
And in one hand there is a looks like a little it's rusted, so it must have been some sort of ferrous metal, but it looks like some sort of like coal burner or incense burner brazier thing, and the hand is still clutched around it. But super gross, smells real bad.
Oh yeah, but I think Obeha recognizes this, or thinks he recognizes it as like something you use to protect against the creatures from beyond this world. And yeah, I think he lectures the other two about this and then realizes he's sort of committed to trying to grab it from the corpse.
Yeah. And you can kind of like get off your stilts and grab it. It's hard. You can't really pry it off. In fact, when you pull it, the hand just sort of like slurps off like slow cooker meat kind of. But you're able to like get gross all the fingers off. And there's a little steel brazier that's been sitting in the water for some time. And you can see like inside it's sort of dirty charcoal inside is completely wet and used up, but it's a thing that you can have if you want.
And I think Obeha will hold on to it with no idea what it is actually for.
Warding off demons.
Yep, that's literally what he thinks.
Probably. Cool. And so as you come to like the rise that comes out of the floodplain and back into the forest will continue. There's a
let's go home.
Field between the edge of the floodplain and the forest. The ground is basically like golden kind of, and a little bit shiny. And there's still like bees buzzing around on the edge of the forest. These ones haven't noticed you or taken any particular attention to you. And as you kind of like take a breath, you're out of there, probably like get down off your stilts.
We notice Obeha like looking warily at the beast though. Like kind of vomiting a little and throwing up his mouth
and swallowing it down.
I'm sure we're almost successful in our journey at this point. We're almost like
we're nearly there. We can't turn back now.
We've practically succeeded at this point.
I can't wait to see my brother again.
As you're kind of like taking a breath and collecting yourselves at the edge of the floodplain, you hear this like big like thudding coming from the edge of the forest and sort of trees crashing a little bit. And before you can really react to the sound or do anything, a enormous moose comes
Oh,
sort
no.
of like sort of lazily like strolling out. It's 8 feet tall at the shoulder,
Man.
and it just sort of like lopes out of the woods a little bit and kind of like looks around. It's got huge antlers, and the antlers are just like coated in honey. And it's like his snout is like just like slick with honey as well. There's some bees sort of stuck in there. Some are still alive, some are not. And just kind of like chewing and looking around.
It's a honey moose.
Oh,
And
no.
it just sort of like, it doesn't like, maybe like kind of like looks over to where you are and just kind of like keeps walking and leaves giant footprints in this sort of golden layer on top of the grass there. Each of you knows
This moose?
some legend about this moose.
Oh, behind you bastard.
There's some
You'll never
there's some,
have tenure.
there's some folk knowledge that you have about a creature like this that is a little bit inspiring or gives you some courage to go on.
Oh.
What stories have you heard about this this thing that came out of the woods?
Maybe a moose is a good omen.
The moose of the forest helps to keep the balance. So when the bees, they get a little too uppity, a little too aggressive, a little too numerous, the great moose of balance will like eat a lot of them, eat a portion of their hive. So it kind of like keeps them from growing. Without the moose culling the bees and portions of the hive, it would eventually take over the entire forest, and the forest would be nothing but one big giant beehive.
You would say maybe a moose is like an antidote to hubris.
And I think for Obeha, it's got to link back to his demonology thing. So I think there are legends of a demon taking moose form, and it's some sort of creature that, or some sort of demon that is an aid to travelers. That basically the original stories were about, this is the demon that claims bandits and removes them from the roads, but it's expanded out over the years to be this is the sort of spirit that takes care of weary travelers in trouble.
Ooh, I know mine. Where Orland's kind of spirit hammerhead is a bull, my brother can warg into moose. And so seeing moose always reminds me of my brother and reminds me of why I am doing this, why I am doing all these crazy things, is to earn his freedom again. And watching this moose walk free is inspiring me to see my brother also walk free.
Nice.
He's not guilty of his crimes.
Yeah, and it is like giant and majestic, and really doesn't give any mind to anything that might be dangerous here.
Okay, so it's finally something we're encountering.
Let's be friends.
Yeah, and they're again like barely notices, like, okay, that's not dangerous, and sort of like lopes along the edge of the floodplain for a little bit before just kind of like, cool, I guess I'm going this way now, and sort of like stomps through it, and you can see as the sun is setting, the sort of silhouette of the horns kind of going through.
We should stick with the
above
moose.
the flowers.
Follow that moose.
Yeah, just trail behind it.
Just stay with the moose.
It is clearly going out, but you can tell
Wait
where
for
it
us.
came
Got moose
from,
things to do.
because it's it's left these sort of relief golden footprints in the meadow between the floodplain and the forest.
A
And you can
trail.
see that the footprints actually do lead back into the forest, and it would not be too difficult to follow that path to wherever it got that honey. And Beha, you're you see that
Oh yeah.
yeah, you see it, and like as you're watching it walk away, like you can't take your eyes off of the honey that's just like coating, and your
Oh
like,
yeah.
mouth starts to water and stuff. And
No, Beha attacks the
Beha's
moose.
hungry.
turning into a bee.
And as you watch the sort of antlers go, and as the sun sets, and you realize it has become nighttime, and it's
Oh, no.
probably a good place to camp away from the floodplain, but before you go into the forest.
Hmm.
So I would recommend make a camp here before.
No camping, straightforward.
the
No
woods.
sleepy.
No sleep till the hive.
I have
Oh,
so much
God.
allergies.
Yeah,
Guys,
rest
I
up from your
need to
allergies.
stop.
You're drowning, your face stinging.
It's been a day.
I like your new bracelet, Orlin.
Oh, thank you.
it's,
I
I
it's,
hope
that's-
it,
it's still bleeding, and it hurts
I
quite a
hope
bit.
it comes off.
Oh
I've
God.
been pulling at it.
Oh no.
Uh,
Oh no.
I will
and
let go.
And so passes ring 2.
Only 3 more to go.
There we go.
We should have gotten through more rings.
We haven't been min-maxing this game properly.
Oh my god, we've just been like, what's the dumbest thing I could do?
It feels like a good place to break.
It
Yeah.
does. I'm getting tired.
Yeah, I still have
Okay.
rehearsing to do before tomorrow.
Oh man.
Ooh.
Not much.
Um,
Only a few more tunes to go over.
Noise.
And play with
So
my new
we'll start
keyboard.
up with ring 3 next Sunday. Is that what we're doing?
That's up to Nick.
Oh yeah, let me check.
Yeah.
Yeah, next Sunday would be better for me.
Let me doubly check just to make sure there's not something weird I'm forgetting.
Oh wait, I have a dance class 7 to 8 p.m.
Oh. Well,
Sunday.
I don't
do
think I
earlier.
have anything going on in my schedule. Ottawa is quiet and dull.
So we're
I could do
talking about-
earlier.
We're talking about
or I could
Sunday
do
the
later.
7th. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to have a Yahtzee rehearsal from like 2 to 5-ish.
Hmm.
That's it.
Could be crazy and do it this Sunday too.
On Halloween itself.
On Halloween itself. Ooh. We
I
gotta
have-
invite
I
you.
haven't decided if
party,
I'm
but
going
I
to do
don't
the
know, yeah.
camping trip or not.
Okay, let's keep it
Probably
open.
not. I could, yeah, I think I need some
Yeah.
break time before my comps.
Oh yeah.
Is next Saturday good for folks? The 6th?
I have a gig. I don't
Hmm.
know the details of which.
Oh
yet.
yeah, I could do Saturday.
Yeah, I have Saturday wide open, but yeah, obviously.
Anytime
prefer to-
after noon. But
Mhm.
I probably would need a nap because I usually stay up really late on Friday trying to get it in.
Yeah, I've got a gig, but I don't know what my setup time or anything is yet for that.
Yeah.
Probably find out this Wednesday.
Cool. So maybe we check back in on Wednesday to talk scheduling.
See what Sunday looks like.
Yeah.
It was Saturday. it looks
Saturday.
like, right?
Or Saturday,
Yeah.
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 'Cause I know the
Cool.
gig is at night. I just don't know. We might sometimes we like load in at like 3 p.m. or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
That's what I don't know. But I will let you
Alright.
know as soon as I know.
And this will be the last time I have to do that particular maneuver.
Hmm.
Forever. And then I'll know everything.
Yay! Omnipotent,
Omnipotent.
all knowing.
You'll never get tenure.
Oh God.
Such a nightmare game.
That's what's gonna happen when we get to the queen. The queen is gonna be like, Obeha, you
Oh,
son of a
you
bitch.
son of a bitch.
Obey, you son of a bitch.
You'll never get tenure.
So
ex-girlfriend.
I had you thrown out of that demon college. Now I'm gonna throw
For a
you out of my
reason.
hive.
Your research was derivative and poorly researched. Or
You
poorly
have
written.
no theoretical basis.
Oh, God.
You can't just be doing ad hoc experiments like
Is
that.
there anyone you haven't pissed off, Obeha?
Man, this queen
Orlin,
bee is
maybe.
mean.
Just the moose.
It's the Moose and Orlin.
No, I have some opinions about him too.
I
Moose, come on.
don't like him. Just because I don't show my emotions doesn't mean I'm not really pissed off inside.
My
The
vote
water's
was the
run
one that
deep,
got him
man.
thrown out.
What, a moose can't be on the tenure committee?
It's that kind of thinking that got you thrown out.
Out.
Oh.
You all realize he is bound to a demon now that will consume ever increasing numbers until it just takes over. Maybe I've said too much. Oh man. And I worked out how to uncheck the change my default name box on Zoom when I do the rename. So hopefully my next work meeting won't have
Obeha.
random.
Obeha.
You son of a bitch.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, internet.